Hello, welcome, people. Hello.
Cookies.
Oh god.
Rage against the machine. Kermit the Frog here.
Excellent.
Okay. So this is a Dungeons and Dragons show sometimes. That being said,
Not usually.
listen,
Chaos most of the time.
you don't have to say it, but it
Great
is true.
impressions like 20% of the time.
Yeah.
Wait. Can you please do your Sonic impression?
Oh god. Sonic's not a puppet. I can't do that this episode. It's against my contract, I'm sorry.
I understand.
If
Yeah.
I make a Sonic puppet, then do you have to?
I think my contract says yes. I think I'm obligated to, so.
I'll take care of this, Danny.
Okay.
I need to see a picture of this Sonic puppet.
Okay. So while we're waiting on that, who all recalls what happened last time, if anyone? It's been a while, but that's okay. And if nobody remembers, does someone want me to assist, or does someone want me to call on somebody by rolling a dice?
Can I
Yeah.
nominate Darius?
Darius, do you accept this nomination?
I'll give it a whirl.
All right.
So, the last episode, number 41,
Wow, 41.
we were all recuperating from our battle week, the week before, where they were testing us on the ship to see if we were good enough to join their crew to swab their decks. And I was teamed up with yeah, her.
With Maud, yes.
Yes, I was teamed up with Maud.
Mhm.
So we lost. One of our
Oh.
teams won. The other team sort of tied everything, so they deemed us worthy enough to join their crew.
Okay.
Then Ashoka woke up. He was downstairs asleep because he was already part of this crew.
No, that's Morgana. You mean Morgana?
Morgana, that's what I meant. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we were all de-stressing and debriefing, and Rendor
You're
was
using
over
the.
there.
Oh.
Rendor
ahead.
was on deck and he was doing his what kind of tantra? No, Rendor went downstairs to make breakfast.
Well,
Who's
he
the
went
other
down.
guy?
Randor went downstairs to sleep so that he could then wake up and make breakfast. You're thinking of Vincent.
Okay, yeah. It's been a couple weeks, folks.
It has.
So Vincent was twirling his sword around,
Yes.
showing Maud some of the basics of his training.
Mm-hmm.
And she was sitting there. She was trying to do some little magic tricks, and she started to get into the flow of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, I sort of helped her do a little bit better prestidigitation. Was it prestidigitation?
It
What was
was.
she doing?
She was
Was
doing.
it
She was doing firebolt.
firebolt? So then she did one, and then I sort of boosted the spell a little bit, and it almost scared her.
Yeah.
So she said, "Wow, maybe this training works."
Yeah.
Yes.
So everybody else retired to below deck to go sleep. Somebody went to sleep with some panthers, and I was alone on the deck,
Mm-hmm.
and I did my final act before I went downstairs was I did firebolt about 50 or 100 times.
Mhm.
Fireworks show for Oliver.
Mhm.
Aw,
Mhm.
good man.
That was all
And
very
that's the
good.
truth.
Yep. Uh-huh. And then, so who has a little bit of perspective on what was happening below deck? Anyone wish to offer this?
Bam. I
Come on.
Mhm.
Yes.
was just coughing. Sorry, that was
No,
weird.
okay. That
I
was
don't know
weird.
what's going on.
I
Yeah.
don't, I don't think nobody was summoning me, right?
Because that
I think
happens.
we're all kind of our eyes return to you naturally. So
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Is it because I'm red?
no, I mean not
Okay,
really.
cool. My bad. Anyway, so
Green.
True.
last time, everyone went to sleep, but I was not satisfied with the comments that Ashoka was making, and the comments that I had heard from the captain, and why the
Mhm.
captain seemed to be so upset with Ashoka for no real apparent reason. So I visited her in her captain's quarters. We shared a drink, couple drinks. Was it a drink? It was whatever it was. It was very strong.
Mhm.
So we kind of got real for a little bit, and she told me some of her past with Ashoka, and she opened up about how they were both on this boat with this really awful man, and he trained them to be some sort of kid soldiers, and she alluded to the fact that she was upset with Ashoka. I wasn't entirely sure why, but it seemed like it had to do with the fact that he left, I think.
Mhm.
Um, so we learned a little bit about the captain's past, but also our friend Ashoka's past. So that was quite interesting.
Mhm. And speaking of that friend, uh, there were a couple other things that happened before deck before everyone was well and truly asleep. Vincent, you were having a
Yes.
nice civil tea party with Miss Maud. How did
Uh-huh.
that go?
It went well. We bonded about our pasts.
Mhm.
I told her I couldn't really go into the details of my past because it's very extensive, but
Mhm.
we talked about Ronnie a little bit.
Mhm.
That she can probably handle herself back at Portwind, but Maud's still worried about her.
Mhm. And she had made some of her oat tea for you, as you learned that she
Ah,
makes
yes.
most of her food and such from oats. To back it up just a little bit, there was also some discussion about the map and where you guys were headed. That happened a little bit before everybody went to bed. Vorgana, you were around for part of that. You want to chime in?
Mhm. So looking at the map, if I can get to it, it is. So aren't we talking about how there was like we wanted to
Guess
go?
not. Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. So if you can see on the map, we were supposed to go like this way. If I can do that.
Hmm.
Because there's like a bunch of like whirlpools, and currents, and the current, we wanted to make sure that it took us to the right place. We wanted to go right in the middle here. But down here, we wanted to try and avoid that. There's like an island with a bunch of like dizzy monsters on it, if I'm remembering
Something to that effect.
correctly. Yeah. So, I think we were just starting to kind of head this way, right? Like we were just starting to kind of
Hmm.
uh, head down there, and I think our plan was to try and swing, from what I remember. Or did we say that we were gonna go through the island of crazy monsters? Anyone remember? Band.
You were talking with Dren, and Darius was also part of the conversation. Darius, do you remember which you guys landed on? There was also a bit of a talk about Dren would have to discuss with the captain as well, and the captain, along with Pam, having become drunk, probably not going to get an answer until a little bit, but
Oh, no. Okay.
but
That was the plan, though.
yeah, the basics of the plan.
Yeah, I
Um,
can't remember what we decided. We just decided that it was Have to talk to the captain.
Mm.
Yeah, I think we didn't really decide on anything.
Okay. So that leaves us the last person whose night remains to be unveiled. Aside from Rendor, who is responsible and encouraged others to be responsible, and then went to sleep because
The
you have
only one.
the job to do in the morning, was one Ashoka, who after going to bed, what happened, Ashoka?
I had a dream.
What about?
Uh, I had a dream where I was a wee lad upon a ship, much like the one we are currently on, only more treacherous and um, words of that nature. And I was fighting another young lassie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I killed her.
Uh,
My dream trailed off before I could remember, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
then there was a bad man who was making us fight. How am I doing?
You're doing good. It was pretty general. Um,
Just cuts to the bone, but
Now,
Uh,
is this dream historical in nature? Do we know that yet?
was what?
This dream historical in nature? Is this
It
part
was
of?
metaphorical, actually.
Okay. Just wanted to make
Wow.
sure.
It's about our relationship as siblings. We're gonna
Just wanted to clear that up for the fan club who's writing our wiki currently.
yeah.
fun fact: I
Makes
did
sense.
start a DieRole wiki about
Oh,
a billion years ago, and I started
me
one
too,
entry on
add
it,
to it.
hell yeah.
and I have not added to any part of it. Pardon?
This is considered the first arc, a lost arc, except for the characters that really need to are going to be involved in the future as well.
I started by writing a thing for Iris because I knew that you guys like cared. Anyway, that
There's
is
spoilers in it?
no. I
Can we
didn't.
predict the future? Oh, okay.
I didn't post any part of it really. I don't even remember how to get into it. But a conversation for another day. In any case, with that night all wrapped up, we enter back into the game, back on the ship. The early rays of light the next morning. Darius having finally gone to bed after his tribute of fireworks to Oliver. Pam after a discussion with the captain. Vincent after his night with Maud. Vorgana after trying to remember exactly what it is to be a seafarer. Rendor, again, being the curious, responsible, and excited one. And Vorgana, Ashoka, rather, sorry, being lost in your own dream haze mindscape thing. The sunrises of the next morning comes upon you, and you find the ship is gently moving forward on the path to get you first out of the strait from between the two closer portions of land, out of Portwind. What are you all going to do as you wake up for this next day?
I'm going to go get breakfast. I'm going to go get breakfast.
I guess
I
I'll
want
probably
to see what Render made.
Okay.
I want to get
Pancakes
breakfast.
and
but
orange marmalade.
Yes.
it sounds amazing. After breakfast, I'd like to talk to the captain, but we can definitely do breakfast first.
Okay. Rendor, would you like to roll to see what you made, or do you wanna try to tell me what you want to try to make, and then I can decide what kind of a roll it is?
What did I make last time? Okay.
Ye-
I want to try to make waffle.
Okay.
Whoa.
See, guys, he is meant to be here.
Did you say waffles? Awesome.
Okay. First things first, make an investigation check just to find all the right ingredients. Not to say that you won't be able to if you can't, but it'll just be more interesting. So make a quick investigation check for me, and then we'll do a... What should cooking be?
Can we help Rendor find waffle materials?
Are you up early enough to do so?
Probably.
Are you electing to be
feel like-
Rendor's bosun? Or,
That's
sous
whatever
chef?
that means.
Sous chef, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm
want to know
assuming,
where on the boat we'd look for these waffle materials.
I'm
In the
assuming
mess
that
hall.
I got did I get a long rest from last
You
night?
did. Yes, you did.
So that's not at disadvantage then.
Correct. Everybody's got a long rest.
Okay.
Nice.
Yay!
Pam, you might have a headache.
Can I still kind of roll to see if I do?
You can roll a constitution check for me. If you get above a 15, you're fine. Okay, so investigation. Okay. Rendor, easily enough, you're able to find some of the drier food supplies and some like crates and boxes behind the areas where the animals are kept, and you're able to find a decent stash of like flour and what have you, and all the bits and bobs that you would need to make some decent pancakes. Vincent, were you still
Waffles.
wanting? Sorry, waffles. Vincent, were you still wanting to assist him? Pam, you're fine. You just know that if this had been the real world, you would have a hangover, and you're like, "Oh, she is a okay."
Got it.
Vincent, were you still wanting to help Rendor with breakfast?
Yes.
Okay. Then, how about Rendor? Do you accept this?
Of course.
Okay. Then, in the early morning light, Vincent comes up to you as you're carrying some of the flour back from the cargo hold that you found it with some of the animal feed, and runs up to offer you some help.
Ah, Vincent.
Need some help with that?
Oh, by all means, yes. And I hand him some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Take it. Help him carry it wherever he needs it to be.
Okay. You end up going to the same area that you kind of went with Maud last night, but you go now into the doors that she had disappeared behind when she made the tea, which is into the little galley that this ship offers as a kitchen. There are aprons of various sizes hanging on the wall, assuming that they're from either old chefs or they just have them on hand for any kind of person who could become a chef. So you guys can both grab a couple. And
Right.
I will say this could either be a wisdom or charisma check to make the pancakes, and depending on why do I keep saying pancakes? Waffles.
Not realistic, because I haven't figured out how I'm going to make the grid yet.
Oh, okay. Actually, how about that? It can be what would it be? An intelligence check to create the exact form with improvising the tool, or it can be a charisma check to like kind of coax the dough into like a waffly shape without the tool, but with like a single like fork or utensil. And you, how about we do it this way? Whoever does one of those checks, the other person will do the other, and we can
Okay.
combine the score.
What were the checks?
Intelligence and charisma.
I have terrible charisma and intelligence, so
I'm equally mediocre at both.
Well, one of them should be acrobatics if you're trying to get the batter to do strange stuff.
Yeah, but acrobatics, that changes things.
Okay, we can do intelligence and acrobatics.
What's your intelligence?
My intelligence is 12.
Wow, so you should definitely do that one then, unless your dexterity is better than that, which it is entirely
My
possible.
dexterity is 14, but my acrobatics is plus 10.
You are just superior in every way. Okay. They have better dexterity than I do intelligence, so I'll let you.
I'll do the intelligence one. You do the dex one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Okay. I think if we use this, it could work.
Oh,
Let's see what
it's worth a shot.
you hold up a spoon.
I agree.
Excellent.
Okay, so for the next continue speaking. Sorry.
Then perhaps if you go ahead and do that,
Yes. The spoon. And I start doing whatever you need to do to make waffles.
Okay. I'll say that for the next, 30 to 45 minutes, it's a decent amount of people on the ship and nobody wants just one waffle. You guys stand there and make an absolute mess of the kitchen. The waffles do have some kind of a waffly texture that's basically achieved by you using the handle of holding the curved part of the spoon and pushing the handle of the spoon in very quickly and trying to, do it on a griddle and flipping it back and forth. It's very, it takes a long time. They seem like they will be delicious, but they are not a clean product.
Okay. Let's put a lot of syrup on these, Just drench them in syrup, just in case.
Syrup solves most problems.
Yes. I agree.
Okay.
I just pour syrup all over the waffles.
Okay.
Like an excessive amount.
You guys have a full-on cartoon stack of waffles. As you guys have been cooking, the rest of the crew, the majority of the crew has filled up the galley kitchen behind you. You can slowly start to hear more and more feet and then talk and then chatter. This changes from early morning chatter into, actual talking. You, each member of the party, can join as you wish or do not wish. A couple of the crew members are still missing, namely the captain. Everyone else seems to be mostly there. Who all is heading in for breakfast? We know Darius.
Yay!
I am.
Darius, Pam, Morgana. You guys are all there. Maud sits herself.
Before I go up there, I'm going to check on Ashoka.
Okay.
As Pam is checking on Ashoka, as Pam slowly creeps through the corridor of the ship, Ashoka immediately runs through very violently and throws Pam against the wall to get to the kitchen for breakfast.
That sounds about right.
Okay. So a small action scene takes place before you run to the breakfast room. And then after you wait there for a second, Pam just processing what happened, you watch as at the very end of the hall, the captain's quarter creaks open and she's got a hand on her head as she's retying her little bandana thing. And she looks at you and there's kind of bags under her eyes. Tell me there's food.
There is food.
I love that, man. Let's go.
Wait, before we leave, can I share some kind of hangover remedy? If I know it?
Sure, make a medicine check.
Excellent.
I would certainly think that a CHAB captain would know all the different hangover remedies there are to man.
I mean, I could just heal her if I wanted to.
Or you could just use lesser restoration. So, what is the hangover trick that you offer for her?
Oh gosh. Something that always works for me, Captain, is, I don't know if it works for everybody, but it sure works for me.
Wet socks. Wet socks.
You hang upside down from your bed, put wet socks on your eyeballs, and then that does the trick. You stay like that for a little while.
For about 8 hours while you sleep?
For a sec? No, that's too long. Darius, where are you? Darius.
I said, you stay like that for about 8 hours while...
Nope, that's too long. You might explode your head.
Yeah, my usual method is that I eat several egg yolks, some disgusting green things, and then the eyeballs of 2 fish.
Interesting.
I don't think it's anything medical. I think it's just the idea that that's entering my body is what makes me be sober again.
That's fair.
Okay, then.
Let's go eat.
Yeah.
Okay, so she slumps along with you until the kitchen is all the way full. Is there anybody not in the kitchen? I think we're all there. Rendor, Vincent, Morgana, Ashoka, Darius, Pam. Yep. Oh, is Greg Nut in attendance.
Don't forget the powder monkey.
JJ
Yeah.
runs up and is standing just outside the kitchen door, Vincent, as you start to carry the food out and is like watching you again.
I just avoid eye contact.
He's just like starts to slowly follow you as you set the plates down on the table with the cartoonish stack of waffles. Okay. Is Greg not joining for breakfast?
Oh no, I'm currently getting some sea beans.
All right.
Oh.
I will.
You're not
Who
right.
can Greg not hear?
How many of us are there today? There are 1, 2,
Oh.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go back to Discord and I see a Sonic puppet that I wasn't prepared to see.
Yep.
Okay. Greg Knight, roll 1d7 and then pick from the results to see who you can all hear today.
Can
Okay.
we always hear you though?
I think I'm usually one of the default picks.
Okay, 6.
So you can hear everybody
cool.
but one of
Hey.
us.
Okay. Who are my choices?
Literally
Uh,
all of us.
There is
Wait, you canted Nick, so he can just exclude himself.
that's true, but I don't know if that's his desire. There's Cody
True.
/ Veronica / Forgana. There's Max / Vincent / Harrison / Hellwind. There's Dad / Darius / Dr. Ray. There's Ryan / Rendor. There's me. There's Pam / Natalie. There's Nick / Ashoka.
Flash Dragnet.
Eh.
Victor.
/ Victor.
Dragnet just his own entity now.
I choose to exclude Victor and Nick because who needs him?
Aww.
Okay.
I'm just kidding, Nick. Thanks, Greg. Not your welcome.
But wait, you just said you didn't hear him. Okay. Roll something to collect your sea beans. So I'm going to say that's 1d20 plus 3. Don't ask me for my reasoning on this because we still haven't made a character sheet, which I put on both of us now because you're out of school and I should have asked.
Oh wait, did you send something in Discord?
That was earlier today.
My computer has been turned off. Okay.
Okay, you find
Good job,
a
Greggy.
you find a good crop of sea beans.
Alright, thanks. I'll
Like-
make good use out of these.
Like 20 sea beans. Write that down
Yeah.
somewhere.
I was expecting like 5.
Sea beans are
20.
smaller than your magical grown beans.
Of course they are, unless if they're a Neptune sea bean, which would be crazy to find. Did I find one?
Not today, unfortunately.
Okay.
Okay. So while Gregnat is off doing that, the rest of us, or rather the rest of you all, are sitting down to enjoy breakfast. Rendor and Vincent, you see that you have now amassed a crowd of hungry masses, including a small boy who's literally following you out of the kitchen, and the entire rest of the ship. The last person to sit down being, I assume, unless anybody wishes to say otherwise, the captain with the hefty pulling of the chair sound, which is not what that was, but it was what I was trying to do, so please forgive me. Who then thumps into the seat and looks up as you guys enter with the food and goes, "You may be my favorite person I've ever hired."
Oh my! Are you hungover?
Shut up.
Okay. Here's waffles.
Okay. The waffles are distributed to each person. There's a slight bit of tension at the table as... Okay. Should I doodle this out? Should I make us a table? Where's everybody sitting? This is what I want to know.
Sit as far away from the powder monkey as I possibly can.
Okay. As soon as you relinquish the waffles, he leaves you alone for a bit.
Do I notice
Okay.
this tension?
Make an insight check. Relatively low. Morgana, why does your thing not want to move together?
Oh no.
Excellent.
I also
Yes.
try to sit next to what's the gun person's name? Lana? Is it Lana? Something like that.
It is. Yeah, it's Lara.
Lara. I try to sit next to Lara, but also far away from the powder monkey.
She accepts this. You end up sitting between her and Ishmael.
Nice.
Noticing this tension, I sit as close to the powder monkey as I can.
Okay. You not only notice that tension, you notice the tension in general throughout the room. I want to know where Ashoka is positioned relative to the captain. The captain will be at the head of the table on the far end of the room, which would be, in this view, furthest to the right, closest to a door that leads out to the back. This is not a perfect view because I didn't draw it that way, but...
Ashoka will sit next to
My God, there's 2 of them.
Vorgana.
Oh no.
Uh, bro.
Okay.
He was cloned.
The other one is Gregnut.
Yeah.
Cast
Vorgana's outside fishing.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He cast duplicate person. Okay. Where is Basha? Basha C will be here. Then Pam, you are sitting by the powder monkey, who I'm gonna say is over here.
Cool. So I'm kind of near the captain.
Mm-hmm. I think she must have seen that if she didn't sit next to JJ, he was going to take all the pancakes, which would not stand.
Waffles.
Waffles, gosh, dang it. Darius, where are you sitting?
Looks like I'm sitting behind a column.
I've removed the column, thusly.
Oh. I'm fine where I am. I'm fine.
Okay.
Got me some waffles and some syrup and some orange marmalade.
Mm-hmm.
That's all Darius needs.
I'm gonna sit Maud next to you.
I could use some bacon and some eggs too, but man,
They had enough trouble with the waffles. Okay. Vincent, where would you like to be? And Rendor, where would you like to be?
I'll kind of orbit around, see. I'll just grab a waffle and eat. I'll just kind of orbit around, see what we're doing.
You're just gonna promenade around the table? Sounds
How is
good.
everything? Enjoying your meal? Like, checking in,
That's lovely.
I love it.
This is to indicate he's moving. Okay. Vincent, where would you like to be? I know you said far.
Yeah, I think I said next to Lara, and then you said
Lara.
Ishmael was.
Right. Does that mean he would be there? Ishmael. Sorry. Bunch of characters on a ship. Ishmael. And then Lara. Who else do we have? We have Xenor. Do you want to be next to Marcus, Oriana?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, if I have to.
Xenor. I'll put
who the
Dren
heck
here.
is Laura?
The one with the gun.
Yeah, the one who shot me and Pam.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh, so sit right next to her. Yeah, that's smart.
Hey, she already shot me. Didn't get much worse, hopefully. Oh God,
You shot
can
me
it?
too, so.
True.
Okay.
Apparently, everyone on the ship. So.
Too much.
Okay. So there's a few empty seats because I forgot how many people there are, but that's fine. So with you all sitting down to eat breakfast, Pam, you're the one who rolled the 26 insight check. You know, on some level, all the garbage going on at this table. You know the fact that Vincent is scared of a child. You know that Ashoka...
Hey, scared is a strong word.
You know that Ashoka and Basha have some beef that they need to acknowledge in some way that's bigger than you understand. You can see that Vorgana is like pondering the future. You can tell that Marcus is like trying to read the room. Xenor and Dren are like yelling at each other across the table. And you're not sure if they're serious or not. Maud is still nervous but a little bit hopeful. Darius is like anxious to get going. And then Vincent is trying to ingratiate himself with Lara so that he can learn how guns do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Rendor is just busy being a good chef and good at his job, which you think is probably a characteristic. So,
Wait,
with all this...
what about the powder monkey?
Powder monkey? Oh, he is just scarfing waffles. He's going to vomit later.
Rendor, awesome job, young man, because these waffles are awesome.
Thanks. And I give like a tentative thumbs up, and I look over at Vincent.
Kind of like wink at him and give him a thumbs up back.
Yeah.
Aww.
I had good help.
Nah, there we go.
I second this. These waffles, I think JJ would agree. We'll take that as a yes. I'm not sure what that meant, but we'll take it.
I'm sorry, I was really excited. They are very good waffles. Thank you very much, Mr. Rendor, for making them. Can you show me how to make them later? Or maybe possibly also where this syrup is kept, because I could,
And then he, like, realization flashes on his face, and he's like, I definitely won't drink all of it.
Insight check.
Yeah, roll an insight check.
Are you kidding?
He's lying, but you catch it just barely. He got a 12 on his deception. Okay. So, yes, he's lying. He will drink all of the syrup. Okay. So, you see, those who are paying attention, Dren is having a discussion with Zudor about the potential places that we could get going. And every few seconds, his eyes dart over to Basha, and then he seems to, like, think better of it with the timing, and then goes back to talking to Xenor as if that will somehow accomplish the same thing. So you can see that until the captain is sufficiently full with food and a little bit more calmed down, it'll take a second before they're able to discuss this. Who all would be care to have a discussion about something or other?
I'm just kind of looking between Ashoka and Basha.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of nervously.
Mm-hmm.
Does Ashoka seem to be doing anything?
Ashoka? Okay.
You're just. Do you notice me looking at you at all?
Yeah.
Do you do anything back? Because I'm kind of just like.
I bob my head.
Huh?
I bob my head, and I go back to eating.
Tell me anything. So I like look at you, and then I like look at the captain, and then I look back at you.
And then I just kind of mouth the words, do you think it's too weird to ask if they have milk on a ship?
You didn't mouth it at all, you just quietly whispered it.
Yeah.
I was wondering that too, actually, Ashoka.
Go ask. I don't want to ask.
What?
Go ask.
No, you're the one who said it.
Okay.
You go ask.
We'll rock, paper, scissors for it.
I'm literally
God.
sitting right next.
I just yell, Ashoka wants to know if anyone has any milk on the ship.
I recognize that it's probably unlikely that you'll have milk on a ship, but weirder things have happened. Like that dream I had last night.
Oh my god!
You-
You had a dream last night?
Yes, so let's get back to the milk.
No, it's important actually. They say that dreams that you have on your first night on a voyage are very telling as to what will come, so please do share. And we don't have milk, but unless someone stocked up and I wasn't aware of it. And
I actually brought some with me in a kind of an enchanted container for my tea. I can go get some if you want. It's made out of oats, but
I just grab the butter knife I have and I kind of direct at whoever just spoke. It's like, go get it.
Mod?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you don't have to be so confrontational. Gracious goodness me.
Thanks.
So she scampers off to go get her strange oat milk.
I
Why are you
did it.
bullying Rod?
I did it.
So you're going to tell us
Yeah,
about your
good job.
dream?
Oh,
Did
no, I think
Ashoka
he's-
tell us about the dream?
No, he just mentioned it at the table.
Oh.
Seems
Ashoka?
seems pretty convenient that everyone cares about a random dream. It sounds
it
almost
involve
like
milk?
you already know what it's about.
Eh.
Well, it is, like I said, Sadie's tradition is the thing that Marcus taught me when I first joined this ship. It was a,
Who are you?
I'm Laura. I shot your friends
Oh.
many times.
Why do you have to keep rubbing that in, Laura?
It seems to be the most identifying factor that sits with you people. That's about why.
I'm amazed that in this fantasy world there is a person whose name is actually unironically Laura.
What do you
Do you
want
also
with me?
work at are you also a receptionist at a milk carton company?
I invented a miniaturized cannon that someone can use to defend themselves and to be a better pirate. Why are you speaking to me in such a way? Vincent,
You know what?
do you
Where I
want
come
to
from, we call that the Second Amendment. Where's my milk?
You are a very strange fellow. Vincent, are your friends like this?
I thought I was.
I don't know this guy. We actually just met.
You literally came on the ship together.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, right?
I saw him feeding you oats.
Well, I do that with everyone. I just
As you say that, Maud comes back in the room with some milk in a little like glass bottle that she sets between Ashoka and Vorgana, and then like immediately scampers back over to her chair.
Thanks, maid.
Ooh. I just look at
You?
Ashoka like, what?
This is Maud, not Maid.
Okay, how do you spell her name?
M-A-U.
Yeah, there's an A in there. I'm validated.
that's not how words work.
Thanks, mood. I drink all the milk.
What? I wanted some of that.
Hey, fine. I
As
saved
you-
some just for Vincent.
After
Okay,
you drink all the milk, you watch as it bubbles back up to full.
This is
That is
amazing.
awesome.
Whoa.
You know what, Maud? You're all right.
Maud, can you teach me how to do that?
Oh, I didn't do that, honey. I just acquired a magic object from somewhere and put a desired substance inside.
I'm gonna find one of those. Mark my words. I'll find one.
If you say so. Make sure to not little,
What? What?
I was just
Say your
She-
piece.
she like leans past Dren, who like leans back in his chair, like, is this happening? Okay.
Just make sure your friend doesn't get a hold of it. He seems very prickly. Didn't re-
And she leans back over.
Jordan just hear that completely.
Yeah,
He's
he
like, what is
100%
going
did.
on?
And so he goes, well, are we at the point yet where we could talk about where on this planet we're going, or no? Is there still some kind of, he like waves his hand, still some kind of garbage that I don't see or care about that we have to deal with first?
Wait a minute. Is there an option to off the planet?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
Very good question.
That must be one hell of a ship.
I don't believe that's not within our current technological capabilities, but it's fun to dream and have fun, interesting times. I'm talking about us not getting eaten or drowned. So,
I think we decided on where Turtle Island is rumored to be, right?
yes, that much we know, but what we're talking about is how to get there without dying. Hopefully.
Oh,
Well, we best leave that up to you,
yeah.
official navigator, captain, guys that run this ship.
You realize now that because you passed the test, you're part of the official navigator captain guys that run this ship, right? That's kind of the point of the test.
Oh, okay.
Seems like
All-
a bad test for navigation.
Admittedly, pirates are expected to know all sorts of things. Although, if I do recall, there was some kind of. This is Marcus speaking now. That's not just me messing up his voice.
It's
Sorry,
like, whoa.
he didn't just suddenly peel off his face and no.
Start speaking in a different voice.
Yeah, no. Speaking about that, we actually are still waiting from the captain on a final word about one of our new members, but I'm sure it's fine. He looks over at you, Vorgana, and goes, "It's fine, right? It's chill. Like what is this?"
Kind of just shrug and just be like, man, I don't know. I think you're fine.
I'm not. It's not okay. Captain Basha, what is your final word on young Ashoka over here? And she kind of snorts. Young Ashoka.
Ashoka's just looking around awkwardly.
Can I just say he's part of our crew, so if he's not here, then we're not here.
Yeah, he has to stay with us. If that's what you were implying,
Yes,
not going anywhere without him.
exactly.
She stands up from her chair and leans over the table a little bit and looks towards you, Ashoka, and says, "You seem to have found yourself a pretty loyal crew here."
Uh-huh. He's looking uncomfortable, like full body cringe kind of thing. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Are you as loyal to them as they are to you?
I think back to all the times I was never loyal. That's up for them to decide.
Like a montage.
Just the 50,000 times I turned to gas when I could have helped.
That's a fair point. Fellow crew members to Mr. Ashoka over here. I ask for truth from you. Do you believe that if it called for it, he would lay down his life for you, for any of you?
If it came down to it, I would trust him with my life. Yeah.
And you, Pam?
I just look at Ashoka.
Just stuffing an entire full waffle in my mouth. Like on the verge of choking. There's like tears already in my eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. And, you, Vorgana?
Oh, no.
I mean, I guess I have to for reasons.
For reasons.
I just go reasons and then I like do the little, the two fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Reasons. Yeah, no, I feel like I trust him. Though I feel like, albeit I feel like I'd be the first one running in to save him. It might take him a little bit longer, especially if he it's a little crazy, if you know what I mean.
I
Okay,
don't
old man
doubt it.
Ashoka.
You said some things in there that I don't know how to deal with right now, but it's also way too early, even though it's not way too early, just to clarify.
Really for you.
And, you, Mr. Wizard Man, Mr. Darius, what do you say? What?
I said, see.
I asked you what you thought, not what we're on.
Still see. Different spelling.
Does
And the question is,
Spanish exist in this world?
Just
What?
say it's a different language we picked up. I traveled.
yeah,
Alright. You people are strange.
see,
What about you?
Adventures, of course, were strange.
Fair enough. How about you, Vincent?
Yes. I'd trust him with my life, like I said.
Okay. Listen, it's dark in that corner. I was looking at... Who was I looking for? Rendor, stop walking around the table so I can ask you, my most beloved crew member. Tell me what you think of this man.
I, in fairness, I think trust is earned. I don't know that I've won his trust. So in that sense,
Ender, I don't think you probably earned his trust yet. I'm just saying.
Last night's battle, and I look at Ashoka.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of left me hanging there, bud.
Wait. I'm sorry. Who are you?
What?
Egg, shots fired.
Good. You're supposed to want to stay on the ship,
Wait a
not try to get kicked off of it.
second. You stole my wife.
What?
Oh my! I stand up and grab my knife.
Oh my god.
Took my one and only. You know, I start climbing. I'm about to climb over the table before one of my friends.
Stop.
Lara holds up her gun towards your face and is like,
I
think he was-
I put my hand up to Lara and I also grab Ahsoka and I'm like, everyone calm down. It's fine.
Is this
Not gonna
usually
attack
how it
anyone.
is? Is this usually how it is at breakfast for adventurers?
How have you not learned yet, Mom? How long have you been with us? 5 days.
I think it's been old.
Have we been here 5 days?
this is
You weren't even in Portland 5 days. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
actually our fourth morning on the ship.
Oh my
I
god.
think. Actually, I don't remember. Is it the third day?
No.
It can't be.
Is that too little or too long?
I think it's too long.
Oh, I think we slept twice, right?
Yeah.
Last night and then the night before that.
So 3.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this would be the third day.
The third morning. Okay. And you have already, he has already jumped off the ship. I had to pull him out of the ocean like a couple times in one
You
fight.
didn't have to. You decided that.
I think Ashoka's just a little bit out of his mind right now.
To
It's
be
okay.
fair, Rendor,
Just
Yeah, and he can't even name his love of his life.
I just would have cramped your style if I just butted in. And
Who are
I,
you,
let's-
Ashoka, who are you talking about?
Rendor, let's not forget that I did a lot as a gas. I protected your head, which is vulnerable at this moment in time. Render, do you not agree that your head can be a weak spot?
That I don't know that that's entirely the point.
Can your head? Can you die or take damage from your head? It's a yes or no question.
Technically, yes.
Then I was protecting your head. Your head sustained no injuries.
that
We're
even
like
true?
brothers
I actually don't remember where I got hit.
now. Me
I
neither.
think
Because I
it
was focusing on your head, and you were safe.
Shoka just needs some reminders of what's at stake, and I kind of like look at him. I kind of look at Vorgana and look back at him.
There's steak.
Oh my god.
Listen,
I look-
don't kick me off your ship.
I look to Basha.
Alright.
He's different. I don't know him. But everyone else seems to trust him. And that means something to me.
Aw.
I'll
Yeah,
know
and
more than
That Vincent here is the one who goes on weird rampages and
Bruh,
Well- kill what? What?
just
What?
Ashoka, shh.
Okay, jeez.
Wait, what?
Poncho has a gambling problem. Pam has a gambling problem.
Oh my god. Ashoka, shut
Why
up.
are you airing
Ashoka, make a charisma check for me. Like a persuasion check.
Oh wait.
What are you trying to say? Is we all have our flaws. But he belongs here just as much as the rest of us.
But if anybody has dice, I will be more than glad to play some dice.
I'm sorry, Danny. What'd you say? Our persuasion?
Yeah, if you're truly trying to persuade her of all these things.
What? To keep me on the ship, or to feel negative about my team?
To convince her the things you're saying about the team are true.
No, I don't want to convince her on that.
Okay, but you did say it.
Okay, fine.
What are you trying to do?
I give him
I'm trying to stay on the
disadvantage.
ship.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Uh,
I was trying to get off the ship in the first place, but I wasn't fully there at that time. So, now I'm trying to stay. Doesn't that give me some kind of brownie points? We have brownies.
Are you trying? Do you want to get off my table first of all, so that my
Right.
Do you get off the table?
Yeah. Do I have to roll?
No. She's
then
watched. Captain Basha watches you until you get off the table, and then Laura puts her gun away, and then I assume Vincent sits back down.
Yeah.
How about this? I'm looking for testament to your character because I thought I knew who you were, but clearly you're much different than even I knew because you're far more insane now. There is one more member of your apparent crew, or actually, I believe there's one or two more. So, JJ, be a dear, go get the old man. And then JJ looks at her and goes, "Oh, right!" and then runs away.
Does he look at me at all?
No, he is focused on his task from and then Captain Basha crosses her arms and looks towards Maud and goes, "How do you feel about him? He literally just called you a maid and made you go get him milk and doesn't seem to respect you or many of his other crew members much at all, but for some insane reason they all seem to be willing to give him a chance. What have you seen him do?"
Pulls out the knife very subtly where only Maud can see it.
Do you actually?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check if you wish to, and then an intimidation check.
Does my insight check still apply here?
I pull out my sword towards Ashoka to try to get him not to pull out his knife.
Oh no!
Okay, so you plainly see him pull out his knife. Vincent, you pull out your sword and just like hold it towards him, and then the knife slowly goes back down as he realizes.
Wait. Can the blades touch first?
Ever so slightly,
That
sure.
We're across the table from each other. That would take incredible effort.
We'll do it under the table.
Okay.
Oh my god, please stop.
Just hold. Oh yeah.
It's a little tap.
All right. I put my knife away.
So Maud looks at you, Ashoka. She's going to make an insight check. Miss Maud.
Just my head on the line.
Come on, Maud.
Cute little head.
I think personally that he's a little bit insane, like what you said, but he is still here, and that takes a lot more courage than I had in most of the rest of my life. So if he's a little bit insane, I don't think I can really say much about it because as of right now, I'm a little bit insane too. So I think we all got to make up for each other's insanity, even though it's more apparent for some of us at more times than others. I don't know. I'm trying to be nice, but he did make me go get him milk. I don't mind.
You're all right.
Thank you. But you really shouldn't talk to people like that.
Okay,
What?
Wait, like what?
Never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Go order New York pizza or something. I don't know.
That doesn't even make sense, the words you just said. And then JJ runs back into the room, and following him is,
Snap. Forgot about Oleron again. Wait,
Yeah.
is that who it is?
It is Oleron.
What about Greg Knight?
Gregnut is off fishing. Olron, who comes and takes a seat. I was not aware that we had breakfast. I was not aware that we had breakfast here.
Aw, no.
Good morning, all of you.
Oh.
It is.
Good morning, all around.
Good morning.
No,
Good
Ron,
morning.
I still have 4 pancakes that I didn't eat.
Waffles.
Waffles.
God.
Thank you. I will gladly take some of those.
You're
He
breaking the immersion.
I'm not trying to.
Where'd you get these pancakes?
They were so good, I thought they were pancakes. Okay.
As Olron starts to tuck into some of the pancakes, Basha lets him sit for a minute. Pam, you can clearly see, I'll still count with that insight check. Marcus is like trying to control his face and is like leaning back on the bench slightly and just trying to like almost duck behind Xenor so Olron doesn't look at him on accident. And Olron is eating his food, and then Basha turns to him, like, puts her chin on her hand and looks at him and goes, Olron, what do you think of that half-orc over there? No, the other one. Ashoka.
I pull out the knife again.
No.
Do you actually?
No. That bit's getting old.
Alright, he pokes his head and looks towards you, Ashoka. And kind of considers. I'll give him an insight check, which will be interesting given his current state. Where's my Olron sheet? You guys, I have too many NPCs on D&D Beyond. I'm calling it. It literally won't load.
Just make it up.
Oh, he has like a +10 insight or something, right? He's pretty smart.
+5. Well, I will say, I do not feel as though I've met many young people like Ashoka in my life, but I do know that from what he told me back before we left the city, he was leaving the love of his life behind to come and adventure and protect his friends. So, I will say that there is something to that, though I think he is a little bit scared sometimes. But who isn't? And he eats more of his waffles. I think the only...
Whole face in my hands.
What? I think oftentimes the only way to truly overcome fear is to face it head on, and what better way than on a ship in a voyage to do something. Where are we going again?
I'm not scared, you're scared.
People who aren't scared usually don't have to say as such. That is one thing I do know. These are very
It's like
good
I'm
waffles.
not scared of JJ.
JJ's whole head pivots towards you.
Did I say that out loud?
And Basha just sighs. Alright.
Definitely not scared.
She's gonna do an insight check on you, Ashoka. Are you looking at her, and are you gonna say anything to her before she makes her final verdict?
Let's go out to the lobby.
I say, I hold up one of my last waffles. I'm like, you know, if I go, the waffles go too. With a weird
What?
smirk.
Or waffles.
And then I look at Rendor. I'm like, isn't that right, Rendy?
Oh my god.
I pull out the knife.
No.
Depending on how much you take with you.
Oh.
Do you want to make some kind of an intimidation or persuasion check to affect Captain Bosch's decision? Ashoka.
I wasn't pulling a knife on Captain Bosch. I was pulling on Rendor. But I will roll a persuasion.
Okay.
Can we assist him at all?
Don't need it.
Whoa. Yes, please assist him.
In what way are you hoping to assist him?
I can assist if you want.
What do you
Yeah,
say?
do
So wait, do I roll persuasion or does he roll advantage?
You would have to say or give him some kind of help action in the world, and then he would get advantage. You don't just say that you assist him; you actually assist him, and then he gets
Okay,
advantage.
you go, Vincent, you go.
Oh God. Okay. Like I said, he's one of us. So if you want to make the discovery of a lifetime, find this Turtle Island place with all of us who know where it is, then eat us.
Okay, and then I'll add that he might not be who you remember, but he is who he is now, and he's our friend, no matter what.
Okay. Go ahead and roll with advantage. So roll that persuasion check again, Ashoka, and you will take whatever the higher result is.
Okay, so do what again?
Roll another persuasion check.
Okay,
And then whichever
sorry.
number... It's okay. And then whichever number is higher, that's the one we'll go with.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, it's better than a 6.
And I'm just like, so where do I sleep?
You've literally already slept. Okay. You can stay and be on my ship, and we will work together. But the second I think that you're betraying my crew or your crew, that's it.
I start sweating. Okay.
Sweating.
That's your cup of deal. I pulled out my hand.
It means he's betraying us right now.
You want me to come
I
shake
knew
your
this day
hand?
would come.
Dust glass my hand. Just kidding. Shake my hand.
She jumps up on the table and walks down towards you and reaches and like crouches down so that her face is like 2 inches from yours, and then reaches out and like pulls your hand in towards her and shakes it really hard. Actually, she's gonna make a strength check.
Whoa. Okay.
Damn. Okay. Ooh. Oh man. Goodbye.
Make a either a strength or a constitution saving throw to not get your hand crushed a little bit.
Okay. Wait, just a normal strength check?
Or saving throw, actually.
Okay. Huh.
Okay. So you only take 2 points of ow handshake damage.
Nice. Down to 40.
Okay. And she does lean in a little bit close to you and goes, "If you don't remember, I pray you stay that way. It'll give me less of a reason to finish this." And she like lets go of you enough that you like are pushed back in your seat a little bit. And then she stomps back off towards the other end of the table and is now sitting on this side. Hold on while I move
And I'm
it.
just like, remember what?
Crewmate Ashoka, do shut up. We have to talk about our route.
I didn't know you could grow roots on the ship.
Yes, finally, if we could get to that. Darius Vorgata.
I think Roots was a great miniseries.
Rendor, have you actually sat by this point to have some waffles?
I would just make sure I'm sitting on the opposite side of the table of Ashoka. Watching the knife.
Okay.
I'm just like, hey, Render, there's a seat over here.
Great. And I just sit down far away anyway.
Actually, you can sit where Basha left because she switched sides. That's fine. Okay. Did you just whisper, "I'll remember that"?
Nope. I have a terrible memory.
No, I think we all heard that, right?
Um,
Lean over to Ishmael and I'm like, you heard that too?
It's too late. I'm part of the ship. You can't take me off now. That's the rule.
I did hear a little bit of that, but to be honest, I've mostly just been enjoying these waffles and waiting for rational things to happen. Where are we going?
How could everyone hear that? It's as if I spoke into a microphone or something.
All right.
Whoa.
Anyway.
Where are we going? I know we're going to some kind of a make-believe island. Dren, you think is actually there? I have some decent reports saying that it is in fact actually there, and we have some relative locations to it. Uh,
Wait, Dren,
Zador?
you're not talking about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Dren, are you talking about the island with all the little monster things on it, or are we going to the one that like in the middle of the ocean?
The Turtle Island in the middle of the ocean. That is where
Okay,
we've been
alright.
directed. Is that still where you guys are wanting to go?
Yes. It's
Yeah.
definitely where we want to go.
Okay.
If we can
Hurry up,
avoid
let's see.
Monster Island, please.
What's monster?
No, not Monster Island. No.
That's what I'm saying. To avoid that.
Yes.
Sounds cool though. It's Monster Island.
We could go there next. But I definitely think we need to get to Turtle Island first.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So Dren lays out the map in front of everybody on the table and kind of pushes it towards Basha and explains roughly what he explained to you guys yesterday. So based on the information and the data that we have leading up to these areas, because there's still a large enough surface area in here, there's still influence from the currents of the ocean that leads into this big river of the split and then into this area. There's still whirlpools and various things of that nature along the center, so we're going to try to go along the side, but remain out of the view of the various castrated sea guards who would otherwise be monitoring this ship. Is there coffee on this ship? Never mind.
Coffee?
Anyway,
I don't think so.
Is there?
Maybe Rendor could make some.
I would bring him some if there is.
it's okay. I can look later. I forgot to pick some up while we were in port with it. Honestly, that was dumb of me. But the city was collapsing, and you were in a meditative stance for 3 days with Marcus, and I really have to ask you how that works later. Anyway, yeah, try to go around the side, try to not get caught into the currents. We could do either a risky move by cutting across here to get directly to the Turtle Island. Hopefully should be fine so long as we're on path and there's nothing infesting the waters from the borders of Castrane. Or we could go down further to be even safer, water-wise, but then potentially run into this island of misfit whatchamahootses, as you've heard our friends here discuss a little bit already, in order to follow the natural water patterns and paths coming up here. This information is also only due to what I have collected so far. There could be information that I do not yet know about things that are in these waters. Me and Zedar collaborated on a little bit of the information that we had, things that we've heard, data that we were able to procure, etc., etc. It's also possible that things may have changed since the War of the Split since the end of that war back down there, with creating a split in the land, artificially, it causes issues not only to the land, but to the thing that is attached to the land. So there may be other debris or things loose from that into the water here that could affect us. I'm not entirely sure, since that's a recent development. Yeah. This is
Do you know how well their maps match up with the one we have in the comic book?
Um,
Can we make some kind of check to see?
You, who are proficient in cartography, can make a cartography check.
Oh, cool.
I will do that.
Yeah.
Which
So
is using my cartographer's tools then?
yeah, you get out the comic book from Pan real quick, borrow the glasses for a hot second. The map in the comic book on occasion seems to shift and adjust, and it somehow looks like you're not sure if the map of the comic book is older or newer. It looks a little bit different. You're not sure if that's because it's coming you're not sure if the composition of the notebook is something that's directly from Oliver, so it might be from when he first set up this area, but the general shapes of everything seem to match up, but the current conditions of everything aren't necessarily the same. This down here, this red split, is kind of what they were talking about. Seems to be a recent development. Before it was just like a little dashed line with some like, looking at your overall map, if you had tried to zoom in there, it's like a current battlefield versus an artificial split in the land.
Oh.
So, generally correct. Specific instances of time things, not exactly up to date. But your map is also weird and magical in a way that isn't of this world, so.
Right. Okay. Just don't say anything then.
Okay.
I guess I'm like, okay, we have a app that is very specific to where we're from, and only
An
we can
app?
see it.
Did you say a map?
Yes.
Well, how come you
Not
only...
this. This is separate. Anyway, we have a map that only we can see just because of where we're from, and it's got a special enchantment on it. But I'll try to help you as best as I can.
What kind of an enchantment? I have a magic man of my own volition. I could take a look at it.
One that no one else can take a look at.
It needs a special glass to view it through.
Is it those glasses he has on his face literally right now?
No.
Can I try them on?
No. I'm sorry. These are just my actual glasses.
I've literally
I need
never
them to
seen
see.
you wear them on the ship.
Okay, I
Before
need them to read, alright? I'm reading a comic book during dinner. Breakfast. Don't judge me.
He like leans his head over the like corner of the comic book. He's gonna make an intelligence check.
We have a map, and I can help, but we won't be able to show you the map, unfortunately.
It does just look like a picture some child drew, so I'm not quite understanding exactly what it is that you think you're offering me.
I told you this isn't the map. I'm just reading a comic book during breakfast.
I
All
love
right.
this. How you have to defend yourself so much.
Right, Ashoka?
Insight check,
Yeah, do it. Do it.
which I think is bad.
Which do you think is a bad idea for you to do?
Which I think I'm bad at.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Alright.
I have to try
Vincent,
to roll something to convince him.
you can roll a deception check.
Alright. That. Oh no.
So he's lying, you just don't quite get why, because you have looked at this comic book before, and it does just look like a comic book. But two things you know for sure, there's something legitimately weird about this comic book, and something legitimately weird about these glasses. And you know, weirdly on some level, the thing he's saying about a map only they can see is true, but the reason why only they can see it, Harry.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
like...
There's something weird going on with these people.
For a group of people where there's not too many magic users, like it's Darius the wizard, and then Pam is a paladin, and then Vorgon's a cleric but likes to hit things. You're not sure how they got to have such a complex... It's very, very strange.
Yes, there's something going on with them.
And that's just how we roll.
Hi,
I'm
back.
profusely sweating at this point.
Yeah. Okay, Dren just sighs and goes, alright, well then, does your map only you can see help at all? Provide any extra information or no?
It could, based on where we might have to go. It also apparently has some kind of historical things that we might be able to use as clues.
Such a... Are you just... When you say map only you can see, do you just mean old map? I also have old maps.
Oh, I'm telling. Okay, it's like an enchantment that I don't know what it is. I've had a bunch of people take a look at it. It's like from our homeland or something.
You know what? Get off his back about the map. Just let us do our thing.
Thank you, Ashoka.
What homeland do you all hail from? Because I see two half-orcs. You're human, who's wearing a lot of dark clothes. That's a tiefling. You're a half elf, I'm pretty sure, sir. In the wizarding hat to my left.
Question for the DM: is Valora a map of the entire world, or is this just one continent?
Make a history check.
Oh no, Ashoka, help!
Can I
We're from
help?
Southern California.
I'm
No.
from Castrain, so I'm just gonna put that out there.
Oh, I actually didn't
Answer
read
the
that.
question.
You're just gonna say you're from Castrain. There is another continent on the other side of the world.
I know what it's called.
I'm not sure I do.
Other place.
Other place.
We're from other place. Uh-huh. No, I don't actually say that.
That's how you spell it. Other place.
Okay. And then,
Wait,
so you say you're from Castrain. That I believe, because that's a place that exists. Though it's a very big place, so that's very vague, but understandable. And you say that you're from other place.
We're from off continent, basically. I don't think you would have heard of it.
So you're from the islands.
No. Do you know what a continent is? Am I gonna break their brains by saying that?
You said off continent. Valora is the
Yes.
continent, and then there are islands. Islands are
Well,
off
as in,
continent.
like, yeah, but like on another continent.
Okay, you don't want to tell me where you live. Morgana, you as always are a good egg and are telling me that
Why
you
do you
lived in...
not believe me?
Of course. I have like the little like if you've ever seen it on Flapjack where Flapjack just looks really cute.
Yes.
Like the giant eyes. I'm just doing that.
Oh god.
Okay. Regardless of where you came from, though, I do appreciate the honesty. Morgana, specifically. I don't know about any of the rest of you.
I hail from Flipdinky. Spelled like this. No, that's not how you spell it. Flub. There we go.
Does this other map of yours give us any help is what we're asking. Xenor
I
butts
think
in.
so, yes.
In what way?
I mean, okay. Well, you said it had like, it was like a little outdated, right? And then did it have any extra information? That you said it could tell like the. Alright, go ahead.
Well, you can tell that it's a little bit older because it looks like a thing that Oliver himself would have drawn back when you guys first started. It's like what he gave you guys. So it has like occasional little notes on it from like stuff like that. It has the little dots of light on there, and as you're looking through it, you can like occasionally see like pop in and out of existence almost little like hand-drawn notes of like where you guys did things before and stuff like that. But it's all kind of shifting. Listen, the main point is we have to decide. There's no way that we're going to be able to avoid troubles. This is a pirate ship-ish, depending on who you ask. We just have to decide which kind we want to face. Do we want to face the troubles that come with cutting through waters in a way the waters don't want to go, or cutting across an island full of potential beasts? I think that's where we're at.
I feel like I'm more confident that I can defeat things than navigate a ship, so that's my stance.
I second that.
Two for
What does everyone else
beasties.
think?
well, see, I'm of a different view. I'm thinking with some well-seasoned seafaring people, and I would rather have them circumnavigate some strange currents than try to fight off some evil animals and who knows what.
And let
Purple worms and
let me just throw my hat into the mix. I think we should go back to Portland.
No.
We're comfortable there. We know it there.
You mean
Joke.
We're Mike there.
You mean that city
Okay.
that's literally destroyed?
Yeah. We've got those where we come from.
So, I see so
Does
far.
anyone else? I'm sorry.
Captain and you two look like you're ready for a fight, but I imagine that can be a constant state of being for all three of you. The two of you and Dren, I see you over there as well. I don't particularly care, so I feel as though I should keep count. So far, we have 3 for beasties and 3 for the waters. What do the rest of you say?
Yeah, the waters for sure. I agree with Darius.
4 for waters?
So why do we want to go to the beasties? Why do some of us want to go to the beasties?
Confident that we can help fighting beasts, then we can help navigating through waters. Because at least I don't want to speak for everyone, but I know I don't have a lot of experience on a boat. So
I'm in the same boat. I mean, my utilities are more
So the whole-
conducive.
So the whole purpose of going to the beasties first is to get more experience with seafaring?
I think it's 2 different ways we can go, and one is getting through rough waters, and the other one is getting through rough monsters.
Rough waters, rough monsters. Monsters we can die, right?
Can die in waters too.
It's true.
So why waters, Darius and Morgana?
I honestly think we'd have a better time, if we're able to actually maneuver through the waters, which we have a really good crew, and if we help them, I'm sure we'll be able to get through. The other thing is, if we go to the island, we're gonna have to fight a bunch of monsters. No, there's a very good chance we're gonna have to fight a bunch of monsters.
So what? Okay.
And I imagine when we get to where we're going, we're going to have to fight monsters anyway. But I'm saying we have a well-seasoned crew. They know what they're doing. And if we can help, we got to be able to get through some tricky waters. I mean, it's not like these guys just popped on a boat. They've been at sea. How old is your boat, Captain? How long have you had it?
I've had this boat for maybe 8 years. It's much older than I am, but a good amount of time.
And she's a good, solid seafaring boat, correct?
Hasn't broken up, well, hasn't sunk on me yet.
That's a shirt.
Listen, to add to my, if we're debating the point, it is the simple matter of potential danger versus definitive danger. And I would rather go with the potential danger versus the definitive danger, though I can understand the perspective of wanting to know what you're headed into versus what you don't. Also a matter of efficiency, because I know that if we did stop on the island with, as Lara so helpfully called them, beasties, I would get very much distracted by the study and various things of said beasties. And for efficiency's sake, better to just hook a left. Yeah.
I love me a good
Okay.
beastie. But which one is quicker? Where are we trying to go?
Here. Can someone do the ping for me, because it doesn't let me do it for some reason?
This one? I don't have
The middle one.
The blue
Oh.
one.
this one.
Yeah.
The blue
There
one,
we go.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So no matter if we go through the beasties or through the waters, we're gonna end up there. Is that right?
Yes.
So which one is quicker?
And they
They-
probably are gonna. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would say there's a very good chance that going and maneuvering through the waters would be quicker. Because we're gonna have to go to the. If we get to the island, we have to maneuver around it. Who knows what we're gonna have to fight? And if we get stuck on the island, something destroys our ship.
Very good point. Are we going to Turtle Island?
Presumably, yeah.
That's our ultimate goal.
That's where the blue dot is?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, well, Ashoka, what do you think? Maud, JJ, who hasn't voted yet?
I am voting third party for Portland. I need to go back to my love, Elizabeth.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Ashoka, you
Third
have two
party.
choices. You have literally two choices. Pick one. I hold up both my hands. Pick one. Right or left?
I put my hand right in the middle slowly, and I pick that one.
I slap it away. Nope. Pick one of my hands.
Okay, here. Which one's closer to Portland?
Just pick a hand.
I look at Rendor for support. Rendor, help.
And the I give him a thumbs up.
Okay. I pick this one.
Which one? Right or left? Your
Left.
right or my left? Your right or my right, I mean.
I'm very confused. I failed my Jabbers test because of this. My left.
Beasties. You chose beasties.
That's probably what I would have chosen anyway.
Alright.
But I still say Portland. But you crazy kids just seem to be against my love, so whatever.
Maud, JJ, who else?
Xandor, I'm voting. I'm voting for cutting through the waters and avoiding the beasties.
Okay,
So
we
we're
have
still
one for each
tied up.
again. Maud, JJ,
I mean,
Laura, Marcus. What do you guys want to do?
Marcus kind of sits for. Marcus is distracted by things.
Olron. What do you think, Olron?
I will admit. I don't. Wait.
Who are you trying to do?
My version of Alfred, which is just really deep and like straight. I admit I do not understand the purpose for which we go. Therefore, I'm not that attached to it. So, beasties.
Okay, to beasties. Wow. Okay.
I
Interesting.
I feel some kind of a. I'm meant to be among the trees, I think.
Okay. Fair. Quick technical thing. I think the capture on Twitch is completely frozen.
Oh, really?
no.
Our voices are fine, but I think the capture is completely frozen.
Video, or at least like
Oh, yeah. That's not
I don't
even.
know how long it's been like that. I think it's been like that for a little while.
I think from the
Yeah.
beginning of the thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
How about now?
Let's search. Yep, that's good.
Okay.
Um,
Can you see as I move around and stuff?
yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I mean, yes, queen.
No! Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we have Ashoka and Olron for beasties. What about Laura, Maud, JJ?
I'd rather not find things, so I'm gonna say water.
Okay. Xenor says water. Well, it's two for each again. JJ? JJ?
JJ looks very intently.
Oh, he's gonna say.
Beasties.
Okay, well,
Hey guys, Gregnut's here.
Greg, right now we have one more for beasties, I think. Right?
I will be the voice of reason that usually accompanies JJ, and I will vote for the Walters. JJ, you do not need to be fighting extra things. You're supposed to.
Who's speaking?
It's me, Ishmael. I know I'm easy to forget, but I am here.
Oh, Ishmael. I totally forgot about it.
It is okay, I understand.
He's the first one I think about.
Aw. Okay. So wait, did Laura vote?
Lara and Marcus still haven't voted, and then Gregnut is here.
do we have an even number of people?
I think Gregnet might be the make it odd.
Do we need to make another list?
Maybe. How about we do this? One person from the team of the Waters can head a persuasion check, and one person from the team of Beasties can head a persuasion check to try to convince Laura, who is undecided, and Marcus, who is undecided.
Olron said beasties, JJ said beasties.
Yeah, boy.
Okay.
I call it 20.
Wait,
Okay.
who else said beasties? So I have Vincent. Okay, I have Vincent, Rendor, Basha, Olron, JJ, Ashoka. Who else said beasties?
Ulron said beasties.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rendor and
Then-
you have them already. Okay. And then who's rolling for the side of the Waters?
I have
Or
terrible
for
persuasion,
beasties,
so
rather.
not me.
I have mediocre persuasion.
Then I say perhaps that might be the correct choice.
But Vincent, if you do it, I can inspire you.
Oh, what does that do?
It gives you a D6 that you can add to the roll.
Okay.
How bad are you?
I have really bad persuasion. It's -2. I guess that's not. At least is bumped up to 4 with yours, so that's actually not
If
terrible.
D6 rolls high, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. I have to roll that separately.
Maud said Waters too, right?
Yeah.
What about? Are any of our NPCs really good at persuasion who are going for beasties?
Let's see. Who's my Beasties
Or
boys?
Ashoka? Ashoka, what's your persuasion?
Well, I got pretty good persuasion.
Can you go back
-2.
back to the table so we can see everybody?
Oh, sure.
I have -2 persuasion.
Well, then you're in the same boat as me.
Let me check
I
the.
thought we already knew that.
Let me give you guys a fair shake. I'll check through the NPCs that are on your side. Basha Persuasion is very good because she's a captain of a pirate ship. Oleron, I'm not. Do you guys elect to give up your role to Basha, or do you want to do
Yes.
it one of yourselves with inspiration?
Wait, can't Rendor just inspire Basha?
If he so desires.
Oh,
Updated list.
Okay.
I'll inspire Basha.
So let's see if this beats Zero's Morgana. She has her modifier is 1 higher than yours. Oh,
Yeah.
Dang it.
she starts
Guys, we
to.
might fight turtles. Or might fight turtles. Never mind, I'm not gonna say anything.
So
It's okay.
is JJ still in the mix or was he canceled?
JJ voted. Basha steps up and starts to say, I think we should really do the beasties. Yeah.
Oh no.
Uh,
Basha,
excuse
no.
me. And then she pieces out. And then Laura looks at Marcus and they're both just kind of like, so Waters, right? Yeah. Let's do Waters. Yeah. And I think that's just about everybody on the ship.
I mean, if most of the sailors think we should go through the waters, then I don't feel like I'm one to disagree with them.
All right.
I want
With-
to see monsters.
Okay, so
Oh,
Promise
beasties.
you will see monsters.
Gregnet says beasties. But
Yeah.
without my vote, that's still. Are we missing anybody?
I'll switch to waters if they're like if our sailor crew thinks that they're more confident in going through the waters than fighting the beasts, then I'll agree with that.
I don't think there's. Yeah. I think Waters wins regardless. If I'm not missing anybody, even without my vote.
All right.
All you fans out there enjoying this 20-minute voting session of this Democratic Party.
Listen.
I
Listen.
think it's frozen again.
It's just not behaving itself tonight.
because it's still on the map.
Yeah.
Let me do something.
I want the people to see your lovely table diagram.
How's this?
That's good.
Okay. All right. So with that decided, Xenor claps his hand, Dren collects his maps, and they rush upstairs to immediately start to like set the course of the ship. And I will leave this choice up to you guys. The way that we can go ahead and go do this is to get through the sailing portion. We can either work together and like elect one of the members of the crew and one of the members of each of you to help sail the ship throughout each of the days. And it'll take maybe 3 days to get to a point before you would turn in the waters. In order to see how well it goes and how you guys are doing and what speed you're taking. So we can go ahead and just do like those rolls, or we can stop and pause and do scenes if you guys want. So how do you guys want to go ahead? How do you guys just want to go ahead and start rolling and then see what if any scenes come about naturally?
Sure.
Yeah.
Also,
Sounds fine.
it's frozen again.
Is it? Oh my goodness gracious, gravy.
I'm not sure why.
Come on, Twitch.
Twitch.
On Twitch.
Hey, well,
That's what they call it. That's why there's a witch in Twitch.
heck yeah.
I'm talking about.
You're not wrong.
Thanks.
Whoops. Oh, no.
It's going all over.
Yeah.
Give it a second. I think it's back now. No, it's froze again. What is this?
Darn it. What? Okay, because we're still. Okay. Did change that.
I'm just totally redoing it.
Yes.
Okay, who do you elect from amongst your, That's the wrong thing to do. Who do you elect from amongst your crew to help roll the first roll? And, who would you want from among the ship's crew to roll along with you?
So,
Yes,
what
what is
kind
the
of roll
job?
is this?
Yeah.
Well, let me split it up this way. You can enhance the accuracy with which you travel, the speed with which you travel, or the safety with which you travel. Depending on which you pick of those, accuracy will be like one of you will roll like intelligence and the other will roll like acrobatics. So that's not, it's kind of for the ship rather than for one of you. Accuracy will be like rolling navigation almost, which would be adjusting to like nature, so like wind patterns and wave patterns and that kind of thing. And then what else would accuracy be?
What did you say the intelligent was?
Intelligence and acrobatics for speed. And well, let me write this down so I don't forget. Accuracy. Intelligence from one person and acrobatics from another. Stability would be adjusting to the natural patterns of the wind and the waves, and then no. Do I need ship stats? Ryan, do I need ship stats like for the practicality? Is that where my brain is? I think it is. Nature and
Just
you know
pick a dragon that take
Yeah.
away its ability to breathe fire and fly.
yeah. I think I will call it Constitution because it's partially the stronghold of the ship, but it's also you wrestling with the ship to make it behave. And then speed. Would just be athletics. Or what's another thing for speed?
Make an athletics check.
Yeah, athletics for the that doesn't quite make sense. I need to come up with ship mechanics, don't I? I super do.
I love
Athletics.
this.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, just see my live thought processes while I'm trying to fix a technical issue and decide how to mechanize a thing. Window
sorry.
capture. It's okay.
You want us to take a quick break?
Nah, I that was not me complaining. That's me laughing at myself because I'm the one who put myself in this situation. Okay, media? No. Window capture? Add source, please. No. Okay. No. Stop. No.
We could argue about the boat mechanics for you.
What should speed be a check of? Athletics and what else? Or something other?
Dexterity.
Okay. I think I like
History.
dexterity better than athletics and history because of the kind of ships. I would agree with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Did you just want it to be history because you like history?
Yes. Well, that, and I know the best ships.
Okay.
I can see the exact face with which he said this.
I kind of can too. Okay. Okay, the source is re-added. Hopefully that sticks. Okay. So, depending on what you do each day, it'll also affect how long it'll take and the safety with which you guys have to get there. And I can roll some things to see what happens. So, who do you want to roll for the first day? Pick someone from the crew overall and someone from amongst your party. And then which thing you would like to do.
I can't do any of those things, so do not pick me.
I can do athletics, but I can't do dexterity. Mario.
Mhm.
You mean acrobatics?
Can't do acrobatics either.
I can do acrobatics, but I don't know if it's based off my stats or the ship's stats.
The ship currently doesn't have stats because I did not think that far ahead, so it is based off of your stats. I'll say it's based off of your understanding of acrobatics in general, so that you can then maneuver the ship with it's
We
like
work together.
good spatial awareness.
Like I do a roll, and then someone else that has good acrobatics does a roll.
If you want to spin it in such a way that the acrobatics is how you're doing it, because you're actively adjusting ropes and lines tied on the outside of the ship by you what's it called when they throw Wolverine?
Oh, the fastball special.
When you you're fastball specialing Rendor off of the side of the
nerd,
ship.
Okay, this is
So-
the one thing I'm good at.
Oh my gosh, he was so fast to say that.
It's exactly what I needed too. So if you would,
in my head what it was, but I did not know the name of it.
if you fastball special
Pretty
Rendor
impressive.
off of the side of the ship, and you use your acrobatics Rendor to actively adjust some of the rigging and roping on the front of the ship,
Cool.
I can allow that. And then we need someone with intelligence from the main ship to do it with you. So decide amongst yourselves.
Hopefully I don't mess up my athletics roll, because that would suck. I just throw him off the boat.
Oh!
Do you consent
I'm
to
sorry,
this?
Endor.
Do you consent to this, and which NPC do you pick?
I do consent.
Okay.
Okay. And hopefully this doesn't end badly. Just let me know. Okay, so we need someone with intelligence?
So,
Okay.
real quick, so are these per day or are these the 3 days? I'm
That is
Day one, right?
This is day one. I was saying that should they be per day? Now I'm wondering about it.
So it would. Did you mean accuracy was day 1, stability was day 2?
I was gonna say that based on which ones you picked, it would determine how your ship went. So one day you could pick one thing, and the next day you could pick the same thing again, or something else, depending. But it might make sense to do them all at the same day. Just that's a lot of rolls, but we can do that. That way, if you guys want to go all out, you can do all 3 within the same day. But that's all that you can do for that day. There's no extra shenanigans.
Okay. Maybe
Everyone's
just for the
focused.
First day we should do all 3. Just to see how it goes. What do you guys think?
I feel like one for each day would just be faster.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, so you guys are doing a scheme for accuracy with acrobatics and athletics on the first day. Who do you pick to be the smarts behind the operation to steer the ship whilst you guys are doing this?
Oh, I have a good intelligence and I have good athletics. So whatever, I have better athletics. So if anyone has really good intelligence, they could probably do it.
I look at Darius.
Yeah,
Hello.
curious.
Can you think good?
You think?
I sure think so. I think, therefore I am.
Oh.
It's already there.
Does that answer your question?
All right. So, all right, go ahead and go with your scheme. Darius, go ahead and make an intelligence check for me. And then Vorgana, do your athletics. And then each of these things will help determine the DC of the next one. So, intelligence, athletics, acrobatics, in that order, pretty please.
Okay.
All
Is
right.
that okay? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. All
Okay,
right,
looking
pretty
good so
good.
far.
Pretty good.
Nice.
So let's go.
Okay.
Okay,
Not
Nice.
terrible.
so you have a plus 10. That's our Rendor. Okay.
Crazy.
So Darius, the boys explain their scheme to you, which is that Vorgana will toss Rendor to the front of the ship to adjust rigging as you're pulling on it to get more accurately in between like a part of the strait that you guys need to be navigating past a part of the land that sticks out where you otherwise could be seen from the watchtowers on the edges of Castrain. So you guys are being very careful. And are,
America.
Lord.
Okay.
And so with that, you position yourself as best you can, holding the wheel with enough tension to provide the stability that they'll need to do this. And Vorgana, you get Rendor up onto your shoulder. Rendor, you're in like a little ball, and you just like step back a few feet, and then run up and chuck Rendor over the side. Rendor looks like a star for a second in the sky, and then
Good luck.
plummets towards the ground. It's a little bit farther out than you expected to be, Rendor, so you could have just landed in the water, but you managed to like scramble onto some of the ropes and rigging on the front of it. And as you're pulling on some of those, it turns a little bit like you didn't intend because you just had to catch yourself on the thing that you're supposed to be using to pull the ship, but you were able to fix it up well enough. And I will count this as a partial success on day 1.
Yay.
Yay.
Nice.
We did it, boys. Also, I think we're frozen again.
Oh,
So sorry.
the audio
Streamlabs-
is working though, right?
It is, from what I heard,
Okay.
yes.
Streamlabs is just
It
not
looks
having
like
it with me
we're-
today.
Yeah.
I just note that while they're manning the ship, I will be training or helping Maud and Lara learn how to use weapons.
Okay.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll an intelligence check and then a charisma check for me so that you can do some good teaching and leading.
Great. Okay.
Listen, you are the one who chooses to do the things that requires these skills.
Okay. Well.
Do you want to be aided in some way?
I mean, it's up to you. I'm like, it would be nice, but if there's something else you want to be doing while they're running the ship, then
I can just run by and like offer some pep for your charisma sake.
it's fine. I'm kidding.
Does that count as an advantage?
You would have to describe to me what kind of how you were helping.
You can do it. You can do it.
I'm just like running around in circles around them, and I'm just like, go, woo,
Works.
go, Vincent, woo.
Can Pam do the charisma check, and then I can do the intelligence check by
After
swapping my
using
stats?
your... I guess if you really want to. Pam can keep them engaged. Pam is your TA. You're the professor.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll
Cool.
your swapped out intelligence, and then Pam roll a charisma check for me.
Woo, 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 let's
Are you kidding me?
So
Yes.
Pam is very engaging and distracting, and they're just too busy.
Can I use my chaos roll?
Sure, go for it.
Are you kidding? You
I
might
want
need
to
that.
teach them well. I'm not using my Oliver roll. I'm just using my chaos roll.
Okay. Okay, go
Hey,
ahead and
what
go
else
ahead.
are we gonna use it on, huh?
Go ahead
Tell
and
me.
roll. Go ahead and roll 1d6 for me. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong chart. Too many spreadsheets, boys. Okay. You may re-roll.
What's that? Teacher. Woo. Woo.
So just roll another, but it doesn't have the... Go ahead and re-roll. I'm trying to consider how this mechanic stacks with the other mechanic, if you still get to do it with...
Yes.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. The switchy switch.
The switchy switch?
Yeah.
What is the switchy switch?
His switchy switch.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's
I
see.
pay attention sometimes.
Wow.
Since it's a re-roll, I would assume that if... Okay, go ahead and re-roll it with your strength. That will be for your intelligence.
Okay. Thank you.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right.
24.
Maud is still having a little bit of a hard time just because she's too small to really hold the sword much. But Lara is like off to the races already.
Wow.
On day one. Alright. I'm not used to being able to like slice someone open. Usually it's more of a like pow with me. But to each their
I can
own.
imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that thing's pretty gnarly.
Yes, well, it's supposed to be. I don't necessarily like to get close to people when I hurt them. I like to be a good distance away and then head out.
Understandable.
Mm.
Sometimes you need, need to be ready for any situation.
I thought you were going to say a personal touch, which I would have looked at you strangely for, but I still feel as though you would have said that.
Well, I didn't say that because that would be really weird to say, but
She just raised...
Close.
Mm-hmm. She just raises an eyebrow at you as you continue your training. Is there anything else anybody wants to do on the first day before we go into the second day's worth of sailing rules?
Yes, I need to ask Gregnet something.
Okay. Gregnet?
Yes, you can have one of my sea beans.
Well, I was just gonna ask you a few things. One, are sea beans good for panthers and dogs?
Well, it depends on how you prepare them, which we can discuss later.
Okay, but also, can you help me fish for my animals? Because I'm sure that they are hungry at this point.
Oh, certainly.
Okay, so you know how to fish, right?
I do. I taught myself how to fish when I was locked out of my family house for a week or two because I accidentally spilled some garlic sauce on my cousin's denim jorts.
That's right, Gregnet.
I'm sorry, Donut.
That was so uncool. You said that it was an accident, but I don't believe you. I think you're out to get me and my jorts.
But Donut, I love you and your jorts.
Mama, you must defend this man. He does not understand.
Oh, yeah. Listen,
Anyway,
listen,
go
Donut.
get your stupid little fishes, and then
Yeah.
you should bring some back for me so I can make a good dinner for our family instead of running away from our family.
Wow.
I didn't run away. You guys told me to move out.
That's what you think.
Okay, I should go.
You should do that.
Okay,
Stop bothering me.
okay, bye. I love you.
Bye.
Just the awkward silence.
All right, let's go, Pam. Let's go fishing.
Oh, all right. Are you okay? You okay, bro?
I'm great.
You sure?
Yeah.
Can I make an insight check
Sure.
or perception? Insight.
Insight. It would be insight. Gregnet, roll a 1d20 plus 2. Also, Rendor/Ryan, I don't know if you missed it, but
Come on.
Gregnut can hear Jacques with a voice.
Yeah.
Don't know if that was just last week or the last session.
I think it was. I think Ryan was here. I believe.
Okay,
I might
I
be
can't
wrong.
I can't remember timelines anymore. But Gregnut lets nothing on. Huh?
Can Jacques' whimpers of distress give me advantage?
I don't think
He's
so.
clearly trying to tell me. He said,
I-
"Shema, you have to help this man."
I think you just hear whimpers. I think you're just further convinced that he's hungry and you should fish.
But I'm gonna put a pin in it.
You could use your your chaos roll. Okay.
Wow, really? You're gonna use your chaos roll for fishing? Oh my god.
Go ahead and roll 1d6 for me.
Come on!
Your roll becomes a critical failure.
Damn.
Can someone give me their chaos roll,
Yeah, I can give you my chaos roll.
please?
Go for it.
I mean,
You want me to
yeah.
roll for you?
Please.
Dan's like, yeah, sure, that's how it works.
No, that is you can transfer your rolls to someone else. That's the thing that Morgana learned. You may re-roll with disadvantage.
So wait, what am I re-rolling? Am I re-rolling the chaos roll or am I re-rolling my
The
original
insight.
roll?
The insight
Interesting.
with disadvantage.
Interesting. Oh, that's still not enough. Whatever.
Whoa, nice.
At least
So-
it's not a critical failure.
So
Yeah.
first you think that Jacques is just whimpering because he's kind of hungry and you're a little bit concerned about Gregnut just because you're in general. And then you think that Gregnut must be like a genius in some way that you don't understand. And then you like look at him again. He's like, no, Jacques is just hungry and I should let him help me fish.
Oh.
Alright, I'm gonna
and-
trust.
Okay.
If you're sure, Gregnut. Are you sure, Gregnut?
Where, see, the thing is that I don't know how to quite say this. Right. I left my fishing supplies at home.
Oh, that's
But
okay.
thankfully, I brought my spare fishing supplies.
Ah.
He pulls out a Gregnut
Gregnut
pulls out a fishing rod that like bends and folds out of his pocket from an impossibly small space, and literally like wrapped around it
That's
on a
so-
tag. It says "spare."
Cute.
That's what I say. I've never heard him
Gregnut laugh.
before.
Yeah,
That's so good.
it's adorable.
I kind of hate it.
Now you have to.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now you
that's
have to
pretty
figure out how to do it
important.
for Donut.
Oh god.
What were you saying? Sorry, Greg. Nut.
Everyone hates my laugh.
I like it.
I like
Well-
it a lot.
Everyone hates my guffaw, but they like my laugh.
What's your guffaw?
It's the same thing. That's my guffaw.
It's
My
laugh
laugh is
backward.
Okay, that's a cute laugh. That's a pretty cute.
That one was creepier than the first.
Okay. Do you wish to roll for fishing, or do you just wish to assume that you have caught fish with which to fed your
Do I
animals?
Do I know how to fish?
You don't have any proficiencies in it, but it would be either an intelligence or a nature check to do so, I would assume.
Okay. Because if I don't know, I want him to teach me.
Okay.
That's doable. Maybe I could just roll intelligence just to see how much I know. Already.
Sure. To learn a skill, it would take like going over the same thing for quite a while. But he can certainly
Well, we
fish with you and help you.
We are sailing.
Yes.
Well, I know nothing.
Well, wouldn't fishing be actually animal handling? Come here, fishy, fishy.
I don't. I don't think so. I'm gonna say I don't think so on that one.
But nature.
Yeah, nature.
Just throwing that out there.
Maybe if we pick different skills until she gets it,
There
it'll
we
work.
go. Yeah.
You finally understand why you haven't been catching fish. It's because you've been casting the line and then it lands up backwards onto the deck. And also, you don't necessarily like the idea of catching fish. And Gregnut is far better at it than you. He's caught 5 fish already, and it's been 6 minutes.
Do it for me.
Okay.
How about religion?
Please,
Y'all
God.
know how much
Please
fish.
let me
Yeah.
catch a fish. Whoa. Gotta say.
You do eventually catch enough fish to feed your animals, but you are by no means proficient in the skill as of yet. Is there anything else anyone wishes
I
to
am
do?
proficient in my friendship with Gregnut, so he will help me.
Listen, Pam, there's an important thing to know about fishing.
Okay, Gregnut.
Or any time that you take part in nature's providings,
Okay.
it's important that before you partake of nature, especially when it requires the life of another being,
Mhm.
you must first thank that individual being whose life you are using to sustain your own or someone you care about.
Oh.
But then further, you must thank the spirit of that specific thing. In this case, you must thank the spirit of the fish. Otherwise, the fish will never come back, and you will go hungry.
Huh.
You must thank nature, you must thank the spirits, and you must thank the life in which you take. Even if you take no life, you still must have a healthy relationship with the nature around you.
Nerd.
Yeah,
Is
sorry.
Greg,
Wait, what?
is Greg that
Excellent, Ashoka. Excellent. I mean, Greg, thank you very much.
You're driving a ship.
That's
I love how Darius is just omnipresent.
that was beautiful. Thank you, Gregnut.
Of course. So I'm just gonna sit here for a little bit, thank the ocean. You go feed your animals.
Well, I would like to thank them with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. No one's ever wanted to do that before.
I'll do it with you. I really love animals. Oh, what?
sorry. I just got really excited.
Gregnut,
Oh
please
my
never
God.
do that ever again.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're
You
right.
didn't even sound like you, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry.
What the?
Oh,
Wait.
Okay, well, yeah. Let's just sit and
what's happening?
thank
Okay.
the ocean.
As you two sit and thank the ocean, is there anything else anyone wishes to do, or are we able to move on to the next day of travel?
I think we're ready.
Okay. So what do you guys want to focus on the next day? Your accuracy, your speed, or your safety?
I'm good with Constitution if we want to do stability or not.
Who's good at nature?
I'm okay.
Anyone?
I got a 5, so I'm sure somebody can beat
Oh, wow.
that.
I'm the
Ashoka,
same.
What do you have?
I think I'm pretty good in nature. I have 1 nature. Never mind.
Is there anyone on the crew with good nature?
Let's see. Let's check. Ishmael is 5. Plus 5, that is. Dren is very good with nature.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Bond-
Ooh.
Bonding time with Dren.
All right.
Yeah,
Do
if Jen has good nature, then sure.
Okay. All right. So we're just gonna try to keep things safe here, right? Because I know that I heard some kind of a scheme that went down yesterday seemed to work out all right enough. Although I'm sure throwing people off of the ship isn't technically what we ought to be doing, but who can say? Pirates and all
Probably
that.
not.
So you go make sure that the the ship is able to withstand what it is that we're putting it through, and I'm going to assess the wind patterns that are around us right now and the waves so that we can behave in manner most suitable. Good?
Okay.
Alright. So he's going to make a nature check.
I think that we're still frozen.
Really?
Yeah.
Streamlabs just does not like me today.
But we like you.
Thank
I
you.
mean,
Why? Okay. So go ahead and roll your constitution check.
okay. Yes. Hey.
Wow. You guys have a fantastic day of stability, and you're able to actually. Usually you were trying to stick closer to here, but in order to kind of save time, you're able to be a little bit further out, which means you'll take less time to eventually make the last little leg before you make a final turn. Right here. That's how stable you guys are able to be.
Nice.
Who does anyone wish to do shenanigans on this day, or do you want to go right into the third day?
Oh gosh. I'm going
What you
to
guys want to do?
feed my animals
Mm-hmm.
with my prepared fish.
All right. They enjoy it
But
heartily.
I'm gonna ask a Greg next expert opinion about dealing with animals. What he thinks I should feed them and in what amounts, and if I should add beans.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
here's the thing. When it comes to well, so you have Panthers and then Jock, right?
Correct.
Okay. What about your Griffin?
Oh, he's not here right now.
Okay. Well, your Panthers, they're going to require a pretty hefty diet. For them, I recommend what? Do you know what the weight on them is? How many still?
I'm not sure.
Well,
Definitely.
let me take a look. They're pretty young, so they're not as big as they could be yet.
Oh.
But their youth also alludes to a greater metabolism. So for them, I suggest at least one full-grown tuna each.
Oh wow. Did we catch any tuna?
Oh yes, of course.
Wow.
And then for Jacques won't need that much. He's just a tiny little pup, but you gotta keep that coat healthy. So for him, I recommend a blue mackerel.
Oh.
Not the full thing, obviously, but just a good slice of it. As much as you know Jacques better than I.
I will take the finest of fish, please. Thank you very much.
I love that.
Oh, Jacques.
Oh yeah, he's a good boy, huh?
Yeah. He's so funny, the things he says.
What do you mean?
You get it. He just slightly pushes you away in a joking way. Oh, you get it.
I just like push him back. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh, he pushes you back again. All right, just Jacques.
I like push him with both hands. What are you not
It's just the things he says pushes you.
I like stumble back a little bit. I'm like,
Anyway.
So what about those beans?
Oh, the beans? Okay, well, I'm gonna. My home beans. Those aren't really necessarily, as one might say, appropriate for eating at the time.
Correct. Is everything okay with your beans?
Oh, they're fine. Just sweating.
Can
But
I get an insight check?
Sure, make an insight check. Gregnet, roll 1d20 plus 2.
There's no way. Right? Okay.
Okay, so Gregnet, please reveal to us the truth of what you're saying.
okay, well, here's the thing. My beans, I technically picked them from home when they weren't properly refined yet.
Okay.
So essentially the magic within them, it's kind of, it's difficult to predict. It's kind of chaotic at this point. Could be bad, could be good, could be neutral. That's why you got to be really careful with them.
Okay.
You know, it's almost as if two people who should have figured things out by now haven't yet. So it's kind of really difficult to work things out with these beans. So they require the proper care before I, do anything with them. So these aren't for eating right yet,
Okay. So
or
no,
magic use. But the
Just-
sea beans,
yeah, just in terms of filling up the animals, like how
yeah,
do
oh
you
yeah, the sea
think
beans have a. What was that?
do you think the sea beams are necessary?
Well, the sea beans, they're excellent for diets for one thing. They have an excellent kind of they have a great way of filling people up. It's kind of like rice in that way, except there's more nutrition to them. And well, they essentially if you, they're really good for meals if you just really kind of want to spice it up a little bit. But they do require a lot of devotion and prep time. Something that I feel like Rendor will be great at with my bean expertise if we ever get the chance.
Oh,
But
that should be a shenanigan.
it should be a shenanigan. But
Perhaps
also, raw sea beans are an excellent source of of a healthy bit to your diet.
Can I try one?
Certainly, be warned that it has when it's raw. These sea beans have a kind of potatoey consistency.
Did you mean
Yeah.
bean warned?
Yeah.
Oh no. What?
Anyway, um, and it might taste somewhat like a kind of like a bitter grapefruit.
Oh, it sounds gross, but I'll try it.
It's good for you though. You'll feel boosted with energy.
Okay.
I guarantee it.
Let's give it a shot.
You'll feel the bean.
Exactly. Thank you, Darius.
Feel the
Oh,
bean.
shit, Darius.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's give it a shot. How big is it?
As you can see, it's pretty small right now. It's about the size of a thumbnail
Mm-hmm.
on your phone. But also, but when you cook them properly, when you boil them, they increase in size by double.
Okay.
When you bake them, they increase by size by 5.
Okay.
And when you freeze them, they become microscopic.
Oh, that's very strange.
Yeah, so I wouldn't freeze them because you'll lose them.
I don't know if they have freezing capabilities in their ship, so we're probably okay.
Oh, someone must have freezing magic.
Oh,
Maybe, I don't know, probably not.
maybe Maud?
What is this, fairy tale?
What?
What?
Wait, what is that?
What?
Okay, alright, I'm just gonna give it a whirl, okay? Here we go.
Okay. I'll do it with you.
Alright, yeah, that'll make me feel better.
Okay, bottoms up.
Bottoms up. What?
That's how we eat things.
Ugh, okay.
So you both eat a sea pearl?
Sea bean.
Sea bean.
Otherwise, bro.
How's about both of you make a Constitution check, not a saving throw.
Got it.
I'd love to.
Oh no.
Slash roll.
Oh god.
Slash roll.
Uh-huh.
What
Does
is the
any-
stat?
Anybody else who wants to do a shenanigan plan to do it now, so that when I ask if anyone wants more shenanigans, you know. Okay.
How do I do Constitution roll?
Oh, goodness gracious, I forgot you don't have a gosh darn character sheet. Roll 1d20. I'm gonna say Constitution for Gregnut is not -1. 1d20 -1, pretty please. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so Pam, you immediately feel overfull, like you've had 3 pot pies, and your inside is like warm and stuffed, and you don't need to eat for the rest of the day, but you're uncomfortable and feel kind of gross. And Gregnut, you have the knowledge in your mind that you can probably breathe underwater just fine for like the next 8 hours.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Greg, I don't feel good. I feel
Oh. Oh geez, I forgot how small you are. Well, there is Oh no, there is a remedy, but
Okay.
you won't like it.
What is it?
Well, you see, the thing is, I can't tell you it. It just has to happen.
I think I'm just gonna go.
It's just
I
so
can't. I can't tell you it. It just has to happen.
Okay.
But it's up to you if it's gonna happen.
All right. I guess. Sure.
No, I need full confirmation that.
It's not like it's the worst feeling. I just don't feel like getting up at all.
All
I
right,
want to
well,
take a
you
nap.
can sleep it off.
But what is the remedy? I'm
I
curious.
can't tell you that.
Okay. How about you feed the animals? I'm gonna go take a nap.
Okay.
Okay.
Pam,
Thanks,
you
Grandma.
Pam, you briefly hypothesized that something about your internal temperature as a tiefling is higher than what Gregnuts must be, and that might be why, like, how he described the way that it responded to temperature to you must have been some kind of like a. Maybe this bean had already been hot before, and it just needed that one last degree up to be like, woof.
Got it.
All right. Any other shenanigans for this day before we go on to the third day of travel?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. So, what do you guys want to
Sand
focus?
down.
Do you guys want to do speed on the third day, or do you want to do something else similar again? If you don't do speed, it'll probably take another day to make that final turn. But it would probably be safer or easier, or not easier, but they each have their benefits. What would you like to do?
I think accuracy instead of speed.
Maybe we could do accuracy and then speed? Or is it just 3 days?
Well, it depends. If you don't do speed today, you'll probably have to do a fourth, is what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think speed works.
Okay, so what are we doing and who's doing it?
So accuracy and then speed?
Or
I think so.
well, if we do speed first, we won't have to do another day. I think.
But Granny said that if we do accuracy, we would get there more safely.
Okay.
So what do you guys think?
I think accuracy.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll second that, but does anybody second Vincent?
I wasn't saying we should do speed. I was just saying, maybe I was just misinterpreting what Benny was saying.
Okay.
Welcome to the democratic processes of D&D. Which are you doing and who's doing it?
Accuracy and who's good at those two things?
I'll do the acrobatics roll at the end.
Okay. Who's going to be smart?
I'll be smart.
All right.
I got smart pot.
All right. Any additional schemes to go along with today, or just the acrobatics and intelligence? Maybe this time, depending, you would climb down the side of the boat instead of being tossed. Though that was a cool moment, and you did get to see a little bit. Like, you doubt you'll ever get that perspective again in your life.
At the very least, we could tie a rope around him before we throw.
Maybe so.
True.
It was fun. Admittedly, it was fun.
Yes. Perhaps a thing to lurk into for future battles. Okay, so you guys go ahead and do it. So Darius, we got your intelligence. All right, so you're able to tell that the safest way to be right now, based on the way the winds and the waves are blowing, you're far enough away from the edge of the coast that people seeing you isn't too much of an issue anymore, thanks to the stability that Vincent and Dren were able to get you from the day prior. So you're able to just kind of keep it straight and get it right to the coordinate point, looking at the far off horizon, kind of where that last little peak here is. Kind of pointing you towards where you need to start to make the turn. So if Rendor, you want to go ahead and roll your acrobatics check to try and assist. Actually, I think instead of the rigging down by the water this time, you're probably up on the sails, helping to start to turn them before that final day to get them adjusted to just the right position.
Nice.
All right, you guys have not failed any of these days.
Yay!
It went so smoothly. All right.
A shenanigan.
Yes, you may shenanigan with a smoothly sailing ship, and knowing that in order to make it safe and smooth, it will take one more day past this. You still have the rest of the day to yourself for shenanigan. What would you like to do?
Instead of trying to teach Maud and Lara, I propose that, or I ask Lara if she wants to, show me some gun tricks. Or
Okay. Sure. She will take you down to the same spot on the deck, and will try to show you. She's gonna roll intelligence and then charisma.
and I'm like, I've shot a crossbow a lot in my adventuring time. Does it translate at all, or?
In the sense that you would go point and shoot, but it's a little bit more. It's simultaneously both easy and complex. You see, the way that this is set up is that the chamber, and she starts to rattle on, and you can see that she gets so invested into the mechanics of how the thing actually works that it becomes a little bit less interesting to listen to her.
I'm focused on her accent. I'm like, she has a really nice accent.
She starts to get more and
My
more
Harris
enthused.
inside is coming out a little bit, and I'm just like,
But yeah, she's starting to get more and more enthusiastic, and then finally it almost catches you off guard because she's like, "But the final product is really just unbelievable." I mean, and then she points towards the end of the boat and shoots, and it goes bam, and you're like, "Huh! I forgot for a second." So she taught you more about the mechanics of how it works than necessarily how to use it, but you don't regret the time.
Cool.
Any other shenanigans any of you would wish to venture into?
I would like to try something.
Yes.
Is there any scrap metal around?
Oh, surely. In the cargo bay, again near kind of where they keep the animals, where they have just kind of crates of things left over and supplies from past missions. There's some scrap metal and scrap of other kinds.
Are you gonna make a waffle iron?
Please.
That's fantastic.
I was hoping to try to make a banded shield,
Okay.
sort of like a crossover, like metal rods over top of over top of a wooden disc.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd say you could try to do that. Well, let's see, what would that be? To craft. Do you have a tinkerer's tools at all?
I have smith's tools.
Smith's tools? I think we could make that work. Especially if. Who else would
He
be
could
able?
borrow mine if he wants
Yeah.
tinkerer's tools.
That's true, actually, because you do have your tinkerer's tools. So, you're able to collect the material. Go ahead and roll a quick investigation check for me, just to see how good the materials are that you're able to find.
All right. I take my proficiency way down.
All right. So easily enough, you're able to find a decent amount of metal scrap from different places that the ship has been patched over time, and discarded weapons from over time as well. And you're able to find a nice circular bit of wood, just from a crate barrel lid that seems to no longer have its crate.
Excellent.
And yeah, go ahead and roll with your smith's tools to spend the rest of the afternoon trying to put that together. If you require assistance from anybody else, you can ask them as well, but maybe you won't even need it. Go ahead.
Is that intelligence based or dex based?
Smith's tools, let me look real quick.
Or just straight proficiency?
Special tools include I'll say that's helpful. Roll 20. I'll say that it's dexterity. Go ahead and roll for dex and proficiency. Oh yeah. That's not too hard at all because it's a thing that you've seen it somewhere before, right? Like you're emulating something that you've seen. You're able with enough time and focus after having successfully knowing that you're in safe passage, you have time, you're headed right towards your guys' destination. Nothing has gone wrong yet, surprisingly, from all the talk about this being a scary old pirate ship. You're able to have a nice peaceful afternoon just making something useful, and you do find yourself with a pretty serviceable, not bad looking shield.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yay.
I have plans for it.
It does look nice. You have you're able to carve a little R on the inside for yourself. And you're able to set it so that it straps to your arm comfortably and all that. It's nice. In the midst of
And if you mix the batter right and you stamped it with your shield,
That's what I was thinking. I see the heat metal well now.
Very good. You do take a moment to notice as you're there in the cargo hold where you had finished scrounging for scraps. You do look over and remember, oh yeah, there's just a mammoth in here for reasons you don't remember or comprehend. Is there anyone else who would like to do shenanigans or other tasks since we now have one more day before getting to Turtle Island?
I think I'm good. Let's see what's on this island.
Okay. All right. If everyone's good, let's go ahead and head into the last day. Which thing would you like to try to roll? Do you want to try to get there quick, safely, or making sure that the ship is super, super stable? And since it's the last day, it will be harder, especially because you are pushing against some of the winds and waves to turn against them at this point, though you've been careful with the calculations. Or rather, Dren has been on behalf of you.
Nice.
So what do you guys want to try to do?
I think safety, because once we get to the island, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Sure. Since we already spent another day.
Okay. All right. Stability is nature and constitution. Who would like to do those?
I can go again for Constitution, unless someone has better Constitution, which is entirely possible. My Constitution is 18 or plus 4.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm down.
Or if any of the crew members have better Constitution, that could also.
Ah!
Pretty well the first time.
It did.
You and Dren.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has better constitution. Okay, if that's the case, we can go again with the two of you. So this last part is very important because we have to change ourselves technically against the natural direction of the waves. We may have some grace from the wind, but even that is not something that I would count on. So we have to be very precise with the way that we're handling the ship, and just be careful in general. So let's give this a shot. Okay, let's go. Okay. Not too bad. What is everybody's, It does seem to be going slower than you otherwise would have liked. I would like, as everybody's starting to pull up, you can all feel it as the ship changes direction, the little bit of, swaying below deck wherever you guys happen to be. If everybody would like to, make some perception checks for me.
Okay. Nice, Harrison.
Thank you.
Dang.
I think it's my best roll tonight, if I do say so myself.
That might be your best roll.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Darius, Ashoka. Can Greg not roll?
What is this? Perception? Yeah, you can roll a straight d20.
Okay, where's here we go. Here you.
Also, Ashoka.
Dang it!
That's as deep as like Greg nut.
He's too busy with his beans.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Rendor, you got a 10 for perception. Pam got a 16. Vincent got a 9. Ashoka got a 20.
Nice.
Darius, are you gonna roll?
Yeah, I'm trying. Hold on.
The
'Kay.
roll showing up on.
I don't see Veronica.
Yeah, I think we're still frozen.
Oh.
We
Are
can't
you
see
on perception? Okay.
Streamlabs is just not having it tonight, you guys.
Yeah, it's been a little finicky. Sorry, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm also being slow. Ooh, nice. Natural 20.
Hey, nice.
Ooh, Morgana. A nat 20.
Nice.
Oh,
There you go.
wait,
like it's
that's
a-
persuasion.
Oh
Oh,
no!
what the heck? No!
Is it the
Gotta
same
get the right
stuff?
one.
You were trying to be sneaky.
Oh, come on.
Okay, hold on a second. Theoretically, if it was a
Alright,
dice,
I'll
it still would have
reroll.
been a
I'll
natural. Hold
reroll.
on a second. What's your perception bonus?
Perception bonus?
Yeah.
Is a 0. It's a literal 0.
Okay, so then that just would have been a natural 20. Darius would have been a
Wow, you were
12.
the nicest.
Okay, Darius got a 12, so 20, natural 20, 16. Is that everybody who needs to be rolling? I do believe so. So those of you who got above a 15, Pancho, you were able to kind of tell it. There's like something underneath the boat that feels like it's scraping a little bit. Ashoka, you're able to tell as well. It's not just something kind of scraping like you're passing coral or something to that effect. There's something like kind of pulling or dragging on it. And this actually makes sense because Morgana, ages and ages hence, back when you first left these guys to come and adventure on this pirate ship when you were called by some other purpose, you had had a battle on a dock
Ooh.
with a creature that your friends later heard of but had not actually seen. And the way that the ship rocks and moves and the way that it behaves, something in the back of your mind registers exactly the way that the ship is being affected with that name, which is Aboleth.
Oh, Kraken.
Can I just give a visual for Vincent? Have you seen like the Steamboat Willie like old Mickey Mouse cartoon? That's
yes.
what Vincent looks like piloting the ship, just like completely oblivious to what's going on. It's just
Correct.
like, yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly.
All right. So everyone is now a little bit more on edge. Even those of you who got below a 15, you're just aware that there's like tension in the air, but you're not sure why. But you're still slowly pulling in. The speed is less than you would like, and Dren. Let me actually roll perception for Dren since he's up there with you right now, and he's the nature boy. Very strange, enchanted boy. He has no idea. He's busy looking at the wind. He's like, I wonder why we
Just
slowed
give him
down.
a little high five. I'm like, we're doing great.
Yeah, we're gonna come in just fine, slowed down a little bit, but that's wait, I went into Mickey Mouse voice. Gosh,
That was very Mickey Mouse-ish.
slowed down a little bit, but we're not doing too bad. I think we're headed in for the clear, buddy.
I think this is the best day yet. Like the other days were pretty good, but this one, smooth sailing. Am I right, Dren?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
And then you feel where is everyone on the ship relatively?
Oh gosh.
What time of day is it?
At this point, since you guys were sailing, I'd say that before this came to be, it's like maybe 11 something in the morning.
Okay. I'm probably in the galley getting lunch ready.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome.
So you're in the galley. Vincent and Dren are up top. The rest of the crew are running about. I think Lara is probably on deck messing around with guns. The rest of whoever else, anybody who is on the lowest level on the ship near the animals in the storage, you feel it the most that second poof, where it feels like something just slaps the side of the boat.
Oh god.
Dun, dun.
And you watch as one of the boards, like 6 feet up across the way from you, whoever would be down there, I assume Greg Nut or Pam, you watch as it just kind of cracks in a little bit. It's above water, so it's not a problem, but you do see a little bit of like dust come off of the board as it pushes in.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Uh,
So you guys are feeling it, and then soon enough,
No. There's some big rolls.
Mhm.
whoopsie. That board and the couple next to it just fly in, and a little bit of water as the ship kind of bobs back and forth does start to get in, and you see the edge of a tentacle squish inside. And then on the opposite side of the ship,
Bruh.
again.
Bruh.
What kind of Constitution defenses got the?
The thing is, the ship is. This is to hit and then damage. So there's now like a handful of missing boards in the bottommost part of the ship on the right hand side, and now on the left hand side it just got. Now you guys up on the top of the ship are starting to notice it even more, are starting to feel it actually, because the ship is kind of pitching a little bit with the concussions of these things. And now some boards splinter on the left hand side. You guys can make. What do you guys want to do? You can make perception checks again at advantage because you can literally go run around and see, or what do you want to try to do? Because who is by the animals?
Me.
You see the tentacle squishing inside.
You got a dagger? You got a
Yeah.
knife?
Yeah.
Slice that sucker off.
All right. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do.
Start screaming too. Let everybody else know.
Okay. This one
Is that your scream?
from down below. Yes, that's what you hear.
Roll a performance check to make sure everybody hears you.
Bruh. Bruh.
Well, if she uses thaumaturgy, everybody will hear.
That's good.
True. Roll with advantage. What?
No, I was like, yes, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Okay, then I pull out my dagger,
Uh-huh.
my tiny boy, and then I start slashing, I guess.
All right. Well then, let's roll initiative.
Come on.
Everyone or just Pam and the
Did you use the poison dagger? I hope.
Do I have a poison dagger?
I think Granny was trying to tell us that they weren't poisoned anymore because they were just enchanted or something. Now they're
It
just
was
short
swords, not daggers. There is a difference.
I don't think I ever had those. I think I gave them to Vincent.
Yeah.
I thought we all took one. but
Also,
maybe not.
the initiative order can come to everybody else who has just heard Pam scream. This is actively to see whether she's faster to move, whether the tentacle attacks again, or tries to rip out that part of the ship.
So do I still stab it?
That's what we're
Or do I
gonna
have to roll
see.
initiative first?
Oh no.
That's what we're gonna roll to see who's faster, basically. So I got an 8 on initiative for this aboleth. You roll initiative and we'll see. Okay.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll an attack with the dagger. You guys can roll initiative for when you guys do enter onto the scenes wherever this happens. And I know it's already getting a little bit late. We may focus primarily on Pam in this specific instance, and then leave the battle to start next time. Okay, so 13 does not hit. You run up with your dagger, and it just glances off the side of it, and then it is going to use its turn before we take our leave.
No. Wait, can I take it back and use my whip? Yeah. Okay.
With its 2 attacks, it uses its tentacle to reach in and pull, and then whips around, and its tail pulls out.
Oh no.
Hold on a second.
Oh no.
Jeez.
Really? Are you serious?
And then with its tail attack that it did, you watch as that side of the boat, which had been like 3 that were letting some water in, now that portion of the boat, basically with 6 feet plus in length as the tentacle reaches in and pulls, and then something from the outside slams as that like a seam is torn out of the wall and water comes rushing in. And
No.
I think that's where we'll end tonight's episode of DieRole.
Aw.
What?
Thank
Dun dun dun.
God.
Bruh.
Oh.
No.
Okay, let me mark down everybody's initiative rolls for next time. So Vincent, you got 5.
So I was with the animals?
Mhm.
So the animals are gonna be underwater, is what you're telling me.
Potentially.
Why
And
do
you
have to hurt me?
you have the teleporty thing, right? You can use that.
Me?
Yeah. Don't you?
I can only take one other creature though.
Rendor got a 20. Hot dang.
But
Well,
I guess I could
You could take
use it
or like
repeatedly.
teleport 2 of the creatures. I mean, that's true also. I was just gonna say teleport the creatures, and then you could try to swim through or something. But
I
Did
don't know.
Vorgana? Did you roll initiative?
Yep.
Or am I not seeing it?
Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't.
That's
Can't
right.
the woolly mammoth grab
I didn't know I
things?
was rolling initiative also.
That's what I was thinking too, Darius. I was gonna try to utilize the woolly mammoth.
smart.
It was gonna be bad.
It's all right.
My best roll tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Initiative is based off dexterity, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
It
So
is.
we must all have not very great dexterity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm -4 dexterity.
I'm
You,
negative 1.
you know, I wanted to have you guys do more combat, but you kept doing too good on the ship rolls.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
killing it.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't go to Monster Island for a reason.
That's true.
No.
All right. So we got Rendor, Vincent, Pam, Darius, Veronica. Or I should decide who I'm going to call you in my notes because that's going to drive me insane. Vorgana. Ashoka, did you want to roll initiative?
I suppose I should, so I can stay on the show.
Yes, for next time.
Shit. Wait,
Oh.
Hold on.
Oh.
did that go through?
Nice.
It did.
Yeah, it looks like
Not
it.
bad.
Okay.
Better than all of ours.
Except for Rendor's, who is killing. Rendor is minute action man.
True.
I don't actually know why I have +4 initiative. I'm trying to understand. That's what D&D Beyond says.
I think it's based on dexterity.
Based on dexterity, and it might be a bard thing. Do you have Jack of all trades?
Yes.
It rounds down your proficiency and adds it to anything you're not proficient in. That's why.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, being a
Really
bard is
useful.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So with that,
So, what
Yes?
about Olron and Maud and Ishmael and Laura?
I can roll for
Oh,
their
that's-
initiative too.
Okay.
So, so I know we didn't get to do much combat this time, but I hope you guys had fun. And
Yes. That was
You
very
left on a
fun.
cliffhanger.
yeah.
Yeah.
Max, did you want her to do like another cliffhanger? Like far
Maybe.
away somewhere?
It's up to Granny.
Yeah.
It would be cool to have like a
It would
separate
be.
scene.
A double cliffhanger.
Yes.
Double
Like
cliffhanger.
someone watching from the island or something.
You don't get that. What you do get is a wall covered in hash marks, and you get a like slim lithe hand reaching up with a piece of soot to add yet one more. And as you zoom out, you see that
Oh.
it's not just the one wall; it's every wall.
Oh wow.
Have you seen that before?
It's the
I'm
it's
not
one
sure.
of the people I saw, I think, when we
Yeah.
looked at the map.
Mhm.
And
Sounds
it's
very
like
familiar.
the guy in the cell.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that.
Who is she?
Who is she indeed?
All right. And with that, you guys, I hope you've had a good time. Sorry it didn't go as long today, but that's how we are. It's where we are. Do you guys want to do your very special sign off?
Yes,
Of
please.
course.
Who wants to count it down?
I
Can
will.
do it. Okay. Go Darius.
28, 27, 26, 25,
Why?
24.
We're going all the way down.
Because I could. 5, 4, 3,
3,
2, 1.
and
that's
that's
just
how we roll. Good night, everybody. We love you all.
Remember, kids, America's a lot less Vietnam War. What are we saying?